What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat.
Yeah, come on. I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Thursday, everybody. That's right. Welcome to it. We're almost at the end of our work week here. Hopefully all of you are having a great day so far. Flying solo this morning. Mr. Smalls is going to be in Carlsbad a little later on this morning at Domino's Pizza there in Carlsbad. They're celebrating their 100th store grand opening down there today, and he's going to be on our sister station 92.9 The Brand. Our other sister station, Fiero 106.1, is going to be there today, but they got giveaways and all kind of stuff going on. So Sean's making his way the only way he knows how to Carlsbad to eat pizza and celebrate the grand opening down there. So he'll be back with us in studio mañana. But happy Thursday. Hope all of you having a good day. It's weather, a little warmer day, gonna be in the 90s, but overall not too bad, other than everything going on in the world. Oh, by the way, this came out yesterday, and so in case people haven't got word yet, there is some class closings, I guess you could say, here in Roswell. They let me get to our page so I can read it exactly. That's the wrong direction I wanted to go in. Exactly so I don't, because if I say it and don't read it, then I might say something wrong. So, but attention for all parents of Military Heights, due to COVID-19, all second and fifth graders at Military Heights will be out of school until October 5th. Again, all second and fifth graders at Military Heights will be out of school until October 5th. All other Military Heights students are out this Thursday and Friday. Again, this is Military Heights Elementary School only. Due to COVID-19, all second and fifth graders at Military Heights will be out of school until October 5th. All other Military Heights students are out this Thursday and Friday. So call the school if you need more information, but that's the word as of right now. So do want to share that. By the way, right after I saw that this morning, then I saw memes. Memes, how they go. Now, this is the world we come to. Now we've got. It was a group, actually, a group of a political group. Somebody put in a meme in one of those that it was basically we now have older people and adults giving ways to cheat in school because of politics. I mean, it's a joke and I get it, but some kid's going to see this meme. And basically it's a meme. It's like, hey, kids, tired of wearing your mask in school? Here's a surefire way to get them to figure out to stop wearing masks real quick, and basically showed a cartoon of a kid wearing his mask in school, but he's using it as a cheat sheet for his test. So he pulls the mask out and all his answers are written there on the inside of the mask. If that hasn't been tried already, it's going to be, because kids, I'm telling you, they get ingenuitive. It's the same mentality that like people in prison use, and they can make all these ingenious things out of toothbrushes and toilets and all that. same part of the brain, I think, gets used. The kids, they'll figure out ways to, cheat the system. And now you're just giving them ideas. I just saw it and I laughed, and then it got me thinking, our political world's so messed up now that you've got adults trying to teach kids how to cheat in school just because of a mask. I thought that was funny. It's just me. But anyway, welcome to Thursday. I digress. Let me give you the rundown for today's show. This hour, we're going to replay an interview in the 8 o'clock hour yesterday. We had Peggy Bolin and Tracy Fry with the Roswell Public Library join us and gave us an update on a plethora of things happening in the coming weeks and into October at the Roswell Public Library. Of course, they're now open on Mondays as well. So we're going to replay that interview we had with them in the 8 o'clock hour yesterday for you in just a few minutes. Then in the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, we're going to have Natasha Welt join us from Roswell Boys and Girls Club of Roswell here. It's been a while since she's been on the show with us, but they're getting back fired up and got a bunch going on, so we'll get an update from Natasha on the Boys and Girls Club. And then in the 9 o'clock hour at about 9:15, we're going to have Dr. Jewell from Loveless help talk to us today and talk about. I believe he's a family practice medicine doctor, practices family medicine, and we'll be chit chatting about everything from getting flu shots to COVID shots to general practice for your family. If you're looking for a new doctor for your family, new to town, need a doctor, Dr. Jewell, he's got you covered. So we'll talk with Dr. Jewell here about 9:15 and chit chat about all his services and he's, I think, based on the bio and everything I was reading, he's been here about 13 years and stuff. So he knows the area. But we'll chat with Dr. Jewell here about 9:15 or so. Plus, we'll have all of your features that include the news, both of the local and national variety, your town hall business update, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. Before we do any of those fun things, let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Not much going on with high pressure parked over eastern New Mexico. We'll hit about 90 for the afternoon high today with plenty of sunshine. Could be a little bit breezy in the afternoon. Overnight, we'll be in the mid-50s and some clouds moving through. And then tomorrow, back up around 90 and mostly sunny. No big changes for the upcoming weekend, upper 80s and low 90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. And currently, let me get back to my weather there. Sorry. Currently, 54 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 45% with winds out of the southwest at 3 miles per hour. Partly cloudy today. Highs expected to hit right around 90. They're saying 89 officially here. Breezes, a slight breeze, nothing major. South winds 5 to 10 this morning. 10 to 15 for the afternoon. Mostly cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 58. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, kind of more of the same. Partly cloudy, highs once again right around 90. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 55 with south winds 5 to 10. Then for your weekend, mostly sunny with a high of 86 on Saturday. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy, overnight low of 56 Saturday night. Sunny and 88 for your Sunday, and looks like next week we're going to be floating in the upper 80s, at least for the first half, 88 on Monday. There is a 20% chance of showers as of right now, Tuesday, high of 85, and then 87 on Wednesday. So kind of settling in for a little bit of a upper to mid 80s spell here for the next week or so, it looks like. All right, it is 7:14, and real quick here before we take a break. The fine folks at Roswell Ford would like to thank everyone that registered and participated in this year's Roswell Ford 9/11 Hometown Heroes Car Show. They had over 87 vehicles on display, and their Hometown Hero. In case you hadn't heard, they were taking nominations for the 2021 Hometown Hero. That winner is Joel Juarez. He received numerous nominations from the community here. As far as the car show goes, Carol Morgan was your Roswell Ford champion. She entered a 1956 Ford T-Bird. Best of show and the People's Choice Award went to Ryan Breedick. He entered a 1939 Lincoln Zephyr. Yeah, that thing looked like the Batmobile. It's pretty sweet. Special thank you to the judges, Sheriff Mike Harrington, Justin Powell, Joel Olive, Dean Topale, and Robert Barola. Special thank you also to the Roswell and Dexter law enforcement and fire departments for their coming out and supporting the event as well, too. And a big thank you to all the sponsors at this year's Hometown Heroes event: CRM Discount Awards, LGS Guns and Ammo, National Furniture Liquidators, Decor of Carlsbad, us here on the radio. Big thank you to Ford for allowing us to be a part of that. Pepsi, Damari's Plumbing Service, Keep Chavez County Beautiful, Let's Play Entertainment, La Salsa, and Suds Up Car Wash. So big thank you to them, and looking forward to the second annual event next year. All right, it is 7:15. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then on the other side, we'll play our interview with Tracy and Peggy from the Roswell Public Library. Do not go away.
This is Renee.
Happy to be here.
She's not some influencer. She's more of a groundbreaker, turning her 4-acre lot into a little slice of heaven behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. Renee runs with us because the most important job is the next one.
That's all I got.
Nothing runs like a Deere. Hear Renee's story at Deere.com.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia and Roswell, or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com. Central Valley Electric Cooperative is an equal opportunity employer and currently has an opportunity for you to be a part of the CVE family. Right now, Central Valley Electric has an opening for an apprentice lineman and a journeyman lineman. Please note that qualifying candidates must have lineman experience or have successfully completed the lineman program. For a complete list of job descriptions of all positions available at CVE and to apply, please visit their website at cvecoop.org. That's cvecoop.org. An outstanding opportunity awaits you at CVE. Apply today.
Hey, Mark.
Morning, Sam.
Having the house remodeled?
Nah, I got termites, and they're chewing the place up.
Welcome to the neighborhood. I've got them too.
Really?
Yeah, just had a termite treatment put in.
You did? I didn't see a lot of digging around your house.
That's because I went with the Centricon Termite Colony Elimination System. It's a lot easier to install than what you're doing. They just place bait stations around the house, and then the termites share the bait with each other until the colony is gone. No digging, no chemical solution, just simple protection that's environmentally responsible.
Wow.
Yeah, I even got a Green Chemistry Award from the EPA.
Centricon, huh? I'll be right back.
Hey, where you going?
Tell these guys to stop digging. I'm getting Centricon.
Call Bob Reed Pest Control today in Roswell, 623-5344, or anywhere in southeast New Mexico at 877-623-5344.
The race is on at Roswell Honda. With a whole team of amazing vehicles marked down to clear the lot, and with trade values at an all-time high, now is the best time in history to upgrade to a 2015 Corolla for just $194 a month, a 2012 Grand Caravan for just $129 a month, or a 2013 Ford Fiesta for just $99 a month. Free AirPods and soda just for stopping by, a smartwatch with a qualified test drive, and tickets to the Roswell Dragway with purchase. Race in to win at Roswell Honda. 2177 West 2nd.
Because Charlie Libben made such good cheesecakes, he decided to open up a cheesecake store in Chicago. After much success, Charlie opened up a second store in Chicago. That store didn't do so well, and shortly after, he lost both stores. As Charlie sat down in his home one night eating cheesecake, he thought, "This is good cheesecake." So he opened up another store. After success, he again opened up a second store. Unfortunately, both stores failed miserably. Charlie Lubin did this 2 more times, failing yet again both times. However, that did not stop him. He opened up a bakery the 5th time. This time he named the cheesecakes after his daughter, Sarah Lee, and thus began his journey to owning the largest bakery in the world. Charlie's persistence paid off. You may have failed in life a time or two. Remember, as you sit back with a Sarah Lee dessert, not to give up. Keep persevering. God has great things in store for you.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The average person spends 6 months of their lifetime waiting for a red light to turn green. Share this information with a police officer that pulls you over the next time you run a red light. Here's Mike Winters.
Joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Public Library, Tracy Fry and Peggy Bolin back with us. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
I'll try not to punch myself in the face with my microphone there while I'm talking.
It would make a good show for us.
I do that all the time, to be honest here. So, how are you ladies doing this morning?
Doing well.
Good. How's now that we're fully engaged back to school and I guess you could say our new normal is here. How's life at the library? Is it picking back up? People are coming in and utilizing the resources of the library and all that stuff.
Yes, after school you'll see a bunch of families come in with their kids,
Good.
And they're checking out items. So yes.
Awesome. So of course, don't forget, the library is that resource for you on everything from you homeschoolers out there looking for extra stuff to even now that we're fully engaged in school, there's a lot of online resources available to you, tutoring, things like that are available, and all of it free of charge as long as you have that library card in good standing,
Yes.
And like you said, that's not really hard to get one of those. It's not like you have to basically you have to live in Roswell, and that's it. You get a card.
There you go.
Completely free, and then as long as you turn in everything on time, it remains free.
Yes.
But no, seriously, we joke and we talk about this, but the library is way more than just checking out books. Now, obviously, we'd love for you for that purpose. If you're just coming in for fun reads or just because books are expensive. This is a cheap way to read,
Yes.
and do it for free and everything else. But if you need other stuff, if you're needing things like tutoring for your kids or even access to materials that aren't found between pages, audio mediums, visual mediums, things like that. There's a lot of different apps and programs and things that are available through the library that you can access magazines for free online or music online for free or any. So it's not all work. There's some fun stuff there too. It's not all about. But of course, it's a little bit everything there. So please, I before we talk about all these things coming, there's a lot of cool stuff that's coming up the library here. Please, this is a resource that's free of charge. You pay your taxes. This is the reason why you do this stuff. Utilize it. It's there for you for free. It's a whole world open to you in this building that is accessible to you by just simply getting a library card. And all the gaps in the world we have now with education, with everything we're running in, now more than ever, the more you do for yourself and your family through things like this, the better off you're going to be. Just my advice to you. Yeah, my opinion and advice to everyone out there. So, that being said, I know you guys have a list of stuff coming up here
yes.
of things, which is cool. Yeah,
yes.
And it's for everybody.
Yes.
You got some for the little kids, the teenagers, and that's the harder one. Teenagers sometimes get left out of things because they don't want to mess with the little kid stuff because, they're too cool for that.
Stuff.
Yeah,
That's
too cool
right.
for that.
That's right.
But they're quite not mentally ready to handle some of the adult topics and things and projects. So, you guys work really hard for the tweeners there, the ones in between it's like, I'm not quite ready for the adult stories and things, but, Judy Blume ain't cutting it for me no more. I need something a little bit more meaty, you know what I mean?
Don't knock Judy Blume.
I know, I love Judy Blume. But as a 14-year-old, you're like, I'm too cool for Judy Blume.
Right.
I ain't Tales of a Fourth Grade, nothing I'm about no more.
But it's great when you're an adult, you can go back to those, and it's all right.
Yeah.
But as a teenager,
even
it's
to
like,
this day.
no.
Well, that's the beauty of books, because you share those experiences. It's like, I even think that's easier than because people do it with movies and stuff with their kids, right? It's like, I remember 101 Dalmatians originally or whatever, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Books, you don't even have to have that filter. It's like, look, I read this book as a kid. And I mean, like Judy Blume's the perfect example of those books. Almost all of us, I think, a certain age group would probably have read or at least very familiar with those books. I'd say for me and my age group, Shel Silverstein poetry is another one that's right in that wheelhouse. But those are timeless things that you loved as a kid, and you could go get them at the library right now, take them home, and share them with your children.
Right.
Yep.
And that's why the library is awesome.
Yes.
I agree.
Very good. So enough of me. What do we got going on, and what do we want to tell the folks about?
Well, for one, we are now open on Mondays.
Awesome.
So now we're open Monday through Thursday from 10 to 7 and
Good.
Friday and Saturday from 10 to 6.
Okay. Excellent. So now you don't have that excuse anymore. My book because you can't use that.
No.
By the way, the drive-thru's always open, and you
Correct.
can put that through at any time. And computer technology, I hate to tell you, it's not like the old days where they can fudge it and be like, no, I put it in Friday. No, the moment you slide that book through, it's got, I'm not going to explain the technology, but it's got technology to tell when it's been checked in and it's checked out.
Yep.
So
Right.
they know. It's not like Blockbuster Video back in the day. It's like, no, I dropped it in the box, I swear.
It's in there, look.
All right, there's a whole generation of people that have no idea what I just said.
We're aging ourselves.
That's right. A little bit here. But that's great news. So, and now, of course, so folks, if you're thinking, I can't go to the library today, Monday it's closed. No, it's now open. So don't let that stop you. And then don't forget, whenever the library is not open, the online side is open all the time. So if you need some of those resources that you can actually access and without the help of or the need of a librarian, really, you can do all, because, you just get registered and everything. And you do that when you get your card.
Right.
But once you have access, so even if it's after hours and the kid's got a book report due, there are resources that the library can offer you that doesn't involve you coming in the library too. So just make that aware for folks.
Yes.
But good. So new hours. The Monday's back in now, back open.
Right.
So does that mean you guys are open 7 days a week now, right?
No, not Sundays.
Not Sundays. So
not
every
yet.
day, but Sundays. Very good. Awesome.
Okay, and another thing that's coming up is next week, September 28th. We're going to have the National Voter Registration Day at the library. So you can come in between 10 and 7.
Okay.
And
register to vote. So if you're not registered to vote, then you can do so.
And that is on a Tuesday.
Very good. And this is great for folks because, obviously, as we get close to these elections, we actually got some coming up here. But it's going to be fast and furious, people getting you registered and all that.
Right.
But if you want a political pressure-free environment to register to vote, come to the library.
Yes. Right.
You can register as a big old D, a big old R, or a big old I, or a big old whatever.
Whatever.
And you do what you want.
Exactly.
And no one's there to sway you, tell you, or whatever. You do you. Just get registered.
You do you.
So that's where I do it. Like when I registered to vote, when I first came to, I went to the library. I'm like, I'm going to places that aren't people trying to sway me one way or another.
Exactly.
I want to do me, and that's one of those places. So please utilize that. What's the date on that again?
It's September 28th, Tuesday, between 10 and 7.
So next Tuesday, swing on by the Roswell Public Library anytime between 10 and 7 to get registered to vote.
Yes.
Now, quick question. I don't know if this is probably you or for the election people. Is it just for people to register, or can they come and change affiliations and do all that too?
That I'm not too sure.
Okay, call ahead and ask on the day of if your question. If not, if you need those issues, just call the clerk directly. Maybe that would probably. But I was just curious. I didn't know if people could do those things on the event too, or just. Okay. But if you're not registered, please come on down and get her done. Excellent. What's next?
Okay. This week we started story time back again. So yesterday we had Mother Goose.
Okay.
Which is for the from
the
birth.
Preschool.
Well, it's from birth to 3.
Yeah, leading up to school, I guess you can.
And then today we'll have our first preschool story time, which is for ages 3 to 5.
Okay.
At 10:30.
Gotcha.
It's going to be meeting at 10 on Wednesdays. I'm hearing the echo. I'm sorry. It's bothering me a
little. You need to close that door. Go ahead. Yeah, close that door. I'm sorry. I have headphones on, so I don't always catch that. Yeah. So, go for it. There.
Okay. So, Mother Goose will be meeting every Tuesday at 10:30, which is for the birth.
Okay.
And then for ages 3 to 5, every Wednesday at 10:30 will be preschool 3 to 5.
Okay.
And just come on in. You don't have to register or anything.
Yeah, it's just come and go kind of events, and usually it's a little story. Some have activities and things as part of it as well.
Songs.
But they're all geared, like you said, the Mother Goose stuff, that's like your infants, and really probably before the child themselves can start reading at that point, and it's you're reading to them, and trust me, I know we've had these discussions. There is a ton of studies and research out there. Children that are exposed to reading long before they can read and all that, the stats are there. They do so much better in learning and education and all. I mean, it's off the charts different. So please utilize these resources and if you can't come out to some of these, please do them at home. Get those books. Come to the library
and borrow
a bunch of books and read them at night or during the day. Read them to your kids. Do that. Get them involved with that. And then, of course, obviously, as the story times for the little older kids, and they get a little more involved in the reading side and all that.
Right.
But it's all skill appropriate, obviously.
Right.
So, but yeah, these are great. It's great to see they're back, because this was kind of a pre-COVID. That was something that was kind of a weekly thing. Mondays, Mondays we got the toddler. However, so now that's back. So parents,
which is great.
Parents, get back on the schedules here. Get that back into your list of activities and things you got planned for the families during the day and all that. And of course, and like I said, it's geared towards your schedule too. So like the kids that aren't in school yet and all that, those are in the morning and things like that. Yep. But like your elementary age kids, for their story times and things, they're just kind of set up to be after school, so that they can actually come and attend.
That's right.
So, but if you want the complete list and times and things, like and follow the Roswell Public Library's Facebook page, or come by. You can get the old calendars and print them off and put them on your refrigerators, just like that. They've got them there at the library if you like the more physical, in your face, something you can mark off.
Yep.
I get that.
Or highlight.
It is kind of satisfying to check off things sometimes on lists like that. So
That's
I like
right.
that. Yeah. So, but you can come by the library, pick that up, put it on your fridge, or like I said, if you're a more technical savvy, just like and follow Facebook, or if you're an Instagrammer, the library also uses the Instagram pretty regularly, so you'll get information pretty steady on those. What's next we want to announce?
I just want to remind everyone that we do have the theater games. That's for ages 10 and up, and those are held on Thursday at 4:30 every Thursday. And so we would like for kids to come on and try it out and see if they like it.
Yeah.
And we also have the Girls Who Code for teens.
Okay.
And that's still meeting on Saturdays at 2 p.m.
Okay.
If you're interested, come on over.
Cool. Do they do actual cooking things?
Code.
Oh, code. I think you said cooking. I'm sorry.
Are you hungry?
I'm always hungry. So it's coding, computer skills.
Right.
Okay. I literally thought you said cooking. I'm like, yeah, I could eat.
He's ready. You need a little
For
breakfast.
girls, not for you, Mike. I'm sorry.
I can eat the results, right? So, but yeah, all you coders. So teenagers, girls for this one. If you've had those aspirations of wanting to design games or I want to be a designer. Well, you got to learn to crawl before you learn to run. And I don't care how technology goes. You got to learn the basics of code and how all that works before you get to the part of designing the cool what's it that you're making there.
Exactly.
It's kind of, unfortunately, if you want to be a scientist to do all the cool stuff, you got to know the math and everything behind it to get there. So it's no different here. So, excellent.
And let's see, yesterday we started our first sensational STEM class.
Okay.
And that was for grades 3 to 5 or 3 to 6. And they did, strawberries, and they were creating catapults and windmills.
Okay.
And the kids, we had some kids that showed up and they enjoyed it. And that's going to be every Tuesday at 4:30.
Okay.
And Peggy's involved with that too.
Very good.
And I'm going to start mine. Barbara Chavez started hers yesterday.
Okay.
And she's every other week, and then I'm the alternate every other week.
Got you. So you do every other week.
Right.
There you go.
So mine is going to be based on the ACE curriculum, the Aerospace Connections and Education.
Excellent.
So mine will be about flight, about the principles of flight,
Sure.
Bernoulli's principle.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Newton's laws and
excellent,
and all of that. So
excellent. Well, this is
that'll be.
While we're talking this, let me ask: do you guys still have the take-home kits for the STEM and stuff? Too?
Yes,
Can they do that?
Oh yeah. Yes,
the projects.
definitely.
This is obviously this is kind of spawned from COVID, I think, initially.
Yeah.
And this is one of those things that I think will last probably long after COVID because it's a good idea, But basically, for families, and again, inquire at the main desk there at the library.
Right.
But you've got basically take-home STEM projects, activities that you as families can do together, and of course they're divided by age appropriate and the different subject matters and things. But there's a list of them, and when you get to the library, ask you to look at them. But you can check them out much like you would for a book, and all the materials, with the exception maybe like a pair of scissors or something like that, is everything you need to do the project and the lesson plan is right there. And and the way that they've set it up, you don't have to be a teacher or professor to help do these. It's kind of set up like Teaching for Dummies, and it's got a step-by-step list of okay, now do this. So you as a parent can feel confident in helping your child through these things. So that's another resource available through the library. So, I mean, please come out to these events and participate. But if you still don't feel comfortable coming out, social distancing, there are other options available for you through the Roswell Public Library.
Right, and the STEM-at-home kits are getting pretty popular. So,
good.
Yeah, I'm excited that the patrons are coming and checking them out, and I hope that more people the word spreads and that more people come and check out the STEM-at-home kits because they're really awesome.
Make them make more.
Yeah, I know.
Peggy make more.
We have over 20.
Good.
So I mean, there's plenty of variety.
Good. Yeah, so
good.
come and I would imagine if you're loving and involved in this thing and you're kind of thinking, hey, do you have one for this subject or this subject? And there's enough demand. Hey, let's create one. You know, I mean that's again, all these programs they're offered there for you to help and enrich and make your lives better. But this is also a fluid thing. This is your library too. So if there are things you want to see or things that you think are beneficial, share them with these ladies and all the staff there. And let's because I'm sure they would love that input too to help make their curriculum and see what the public wants and what the public necessarily doesn't want. That's that helps with that feedback. So please come out, and if you want more, let Peggy know here, and let's see what we can do. So. Good deal. I'm sorry, I got interrupted on the other list of events there, so
okay.
Get sidetracked.
And also, you're going to discuss your Roswell Galaxy Club,
right? So every other Wednesday, the same Tuesday, the same week that I do this sensational STEM, I'm doing on Wednesday at 4:30 is the Roswell Junior Galaxy Club.
Okay.
And this semester, we're going to be focusing in on rockets. Nice. So we're going to be learning about how rockets work, and the parts of the rockets, and the end.
Little Robert Goddard information going on.
Right, exactly. And so we're going to be designing and building different types of rockets. And the final rocket will be one that's a model rocket that will be shooting off probably not in the, it's the kind with the engine.
Yeah.
So we can't just do it right in town.
Yeah. These things shoot up like, a half mile or something in the air, some crazy height.
And we don't want them landing on a car or whatever. Yeah. So we're looking maybe the Wool Bowl or something.
Yeah, someplace.
Whereas somewhere that it'll be safer to do that.
Well, good news is we got plenty of open space right here. We can find a spot to do this.
So that will be at the end of the semester on a nice sunny December day, probably.
Very good. Yeah, those are pretty. If I remember, when I was a kid, I wasn't per se, but I had a friend that would build the rockets, and I would hang out. But I think it's close to what you're talking about here, where you have to build. They come with the engines, and they're they're different sizes, like D or C, or I don't remember the way they come, but yeah, and you have to build the rocket. If you don't do it right,
you don't launch.
You might have or you have a explosion up. I've seen a couple of those too. Unfortunately, not on purpose. We accidentally replicated the challenge.
No,
because he had a space shuttle one, and we built. And of course, we're dumb kids, so we stuck army men inside it. It blew up in the air, and then the parachute came out, but it too was on fire. So it was all just falling to the ground. But we didn't have supervision.
Okay, that answers my question.
Yeah, we didn't have supervision. But it is really, really cool. So I don't, even if you just love that kind of stuff, please come out. Hopefully you're like, I want to see explosions and fire and everything, and you come out and learn stuff. I don't care what gets you there. Let's get you there. You know what I mean? Because we all love that. We all like a good. Why do you think Arnold Schwarzenegger's made all that money? Because we love explosions. But
That's right.
Yeah.
I digress. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. What's coming up in first week of October? We're going to have our first book bite.
Okay.
Which is a book club for
kids.
For kids.
Nice.
And our first book is going to be Binocular.
Okay.
Okay, that's going to be on Thursday, October 7th at 4:30, and they just have to come in the library, borrow the book.
Okay.
And meet up.
And this looks like a good Halloween theme.
Oh, it's a great book. If you haven't read it, you'd love it.
Binocular.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking like a play on bunnies and Dracula, right?
You got it.
Good deal. So
you have to read the book. We can't tell you everything.
We don't want to slip the story away. What's just out of curiosity? What's kind of the age range appropriate for that book? Is it more young kids or
elementary?
Elementary, elementary. Okay, so like your fifth,
third, fourth, fifth, sixth.
Good deal. Up to maybe mid school.
Yeah, second graders might
like second
as well.
Maybe sixth grade or something like that. They probably
third through fifth is the most appropriate.
So middle school might be the ceiling on that one. So, but anyway,
yeah, they might not even.
Well, you read it if you're into it. You're into it. You read it. You know, if it seems a little immature for you, then maybe next time I pick a more mature book.
Yeah, exactly.
Go to the young adult section.
Yeah. Just down to the next section. You get another book. Very cool. But that'll begin the 7th of October?
Yes.
For book club for the kids here.
Once a month.
And I imagine each month will be a new book and a new subject. And so as part of the book club, what's some of the, other than reading the book and then having discussions, is that kind of, or is there some activities planned as part of it too?
Yeah, we'll have some fun activities. Cool. We're going to discuss the books and and go from there and see what the kids really want to do with it.
And for kids, to maybe sway you to get on this, because maybe not be familiar with how book clubs work and things, because mostly that's something we do as adults. But basically, it's all of you in the group read a book together, and the one lesson you learn out of this, I think more than anything else, is you can have 10 people read the exact same thing and get 10 different reactions to it.
Exactly.
And that's what book club is all about.
Right,
and that's what and so as children here, you're going to get to learn some of that and say, wait a minute, I read the same book you did. I didn't get that,
I missed that.
Yeah. And so that's what this is all about. So again, sign up, and I guess obviously you can get a copy of the book there at the library.
Right. You just come and check out the book, and then just meet us on that Thursday.
All right.
And we'll discuss, and we'll go from there, and then we'll choose another book for the following month.
Good deal. So come on. So I guess it's not an official sign up, but no, checking out the book is like, hey, you want to come be a part of our book club.
And just show up for the meeting and discussion.
Yeah. Now, is there a special spot in the library where those books are kept? Or
yeah, they're all in the children's area.
In the chair? Okay. I didn't know if there was like an end cap or a special display with those.
No, actually, it's over near the reference desk in the children's area. We have them stacked up in case someone comes and asks about it.
Okay.
It's right there.
So there is a central location for all this.
Yes.
Perfect. Very good. What's next on the list here?
Well, I just want to remind everyone that we do have our monthly programs. We started Stitchers United Crochet Club.
Okay.
And that normally meets on the second Saturday.
Okay.
And that's at 10 a.m., 10 to noon.
And that's for adults.
Very good.
Oh, it's crocheting and knitting. So, I mean, if you're a teen, you can come
that's
on.
True. That's true.
If you have a love for crocheting and knitting, come on out and be a part. And if I remember right, it's, skill level's not like if you want to learn, there's enough people there that kind of get you going. But if you're more experienced, you can kind of come a bit. So skill level's not the big thing. It's just the camaraderie and learning and appreciating crocheting and knitting and things, and hopefully spawning some younger generations of people to take up these hobbies as well too. Very good.
And then on Mondays, we're going to have Cup of Java. That's from 10 to 11 a.m. People come in. They can have a cup of coffee in the library.
Nice.
Because we're open now on Mondays.
Yeah, got a Monday. Come in, have a cup of Joe, and
socialize with the people there.
Yeah.
On Tuesdays, we have Tech Tuesdays from 5:30 to 6:30. You just come in at the reference desk, and you just let them know if you have like an issue with your iPad or whatever.
So they're helping people with some minor computer issues, things like that. Obviously, they're not going to be swapping hard drives out and stuff.
No.
But if you got a software program that's giving you some issues or
you have no problem downloading something, maybe they'll try to assist you as much as they can.
Cool. Okay.
And we have of course, for adults, we have the coloring between the lines.
Okay.
That meets on Tuesdays at 5 a.m.
5 p.m.
I'm sorry.
5 p.m.
Yeah, they can come out at 5 p.m.
The library won't be open, but they can sit on the curb.
That's like a morning group there. The polar bear.
They need a cup of Java with it then.
Yeah, they need a bigger cup of Java, I think, for that one.
And this past Saturday, we had our first Saturday movie matinee. We did Spies in Disguise, which we had a nice turnout. Next month on the 16th, we'll have another movie.
Awesome.
So
you know what it is already?
It's going to be Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
That's the animated Spider-Man movie. Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty popular.
And that's going to come on it's going to start at 2 p.m. on
Very good.
October 16th.
Great family outing. Bring the family out, spend some time with the kids, and pop some popcorn and sit around the screen and enjoy a movie. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice way to kind of end the week there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if it's hot, you can just come chill out in there.
Yeah, exactly. De-stress and have some fun, spend some family time.
Yeah.
Watch a free movie. Can't complain.
Exactly.
Get some popcorn. Yeah. Oh, and while you're there, check out a book. Take it home with you.
Yeah.
That's right.
After you finish, just go in the library, check out a book. Yeah.
Very good. What else we got?
And we have, next month we're going to start our Crazy Eights Math Club. That's going to begin Tuesday, October 5th at 4:30. And it's a after-school club designed to get kids fired up about math for kindergarten to second grade.
Okay.
And we're going to have Lego Club on the 14th, which is a Thursday at 4:30. That's going to meet once a month.
Okay.
And then we're going to have board games.
Okay.
I can't speak. And that's going to be on a Thursday, October 21st. So, like, Thursdays we'll have something different every...
Okay. Thursday's like fun activity.
At 4:30.
4:30 day. I was saying night,
Yeah.
but it's really afternoon.
Oh, and then I'll probably get killed if I didn't tell you about the 4 Shilling Short, which is going to be on Tuesday, October 19th at 5 p.m. It's a performance is coming in.
Okay.
And enjoy music from Celtic lands, Europe, Asia, and America with an assortment of musical instruments. So you have this couple coming in and they're going to perform.
Okay, so think of like the Irish, so it might be like bagpipes and mandolins and some more unique instruments we don't see every day.
Actually, I'm not sure about the instruments because I didn't set that one up.
Gotcha. Well, I'm thinking like Celtic. I'm trying to think of like the types of instruments and things. I think Irish jigs and things like that. So so a lot of that folk music type type vibe. I think.
Right.
Cool.
And
so that'd be I guess for all ages. I'm assuming.
Right, and that's going to be on a Tuesday at 5 p.m. October 19th. All our events are free. So.
Yeah, absolutely. These are free of charge. That's the beauty of all this.
So if you come in and it's not to your liking, it's not costing you anything. Just come in and check it out.
Well, and this is especially with the kids. I'm very much a big fan of let's throw as much at them, see what sticks. Because they're learning in the world. How do you know if you like something or not unless you try it or you better get exposed to it? And the library is built exactly for that. That's what the library does, to open new opportunities for you or find out what the ones you like and don't like. So, yes, come participate in the event. Maybe it turns out you love coding or something like that. Didn't realize you love it. Or maybe you found out, it's not my cup of tea. So be it. Let's move on to something else. But that's just it. Like you said, this is your chance to learn and explore and have fun doing that. So, please, parents, encourage this in your kids. And kids, if you're listening, should be at school, but anyway, if you're home today or home from school, please use this as you tell your parents, take me to the library. I want to get some books and I want to participate in some of these different activities and things. So.
Of course, we're having a big celebration on November 13th. That's a Saturday from 10 till 1:30, and that's for the James Webb Space Telescope.
Okay.
We're going to have a big event then, and they were going to be launching the James Webb in October, the end of October.
Okay.
But the date's been changed to December.
Okay.
But that's okay. We're still going to celebrate it because, golly, it's going to go up there soon.
Yes. Is that through just NASA, or is that a SpaceX NASA thing, or how they get it up
NASA.
there? All NASA. Okay. I didn't know if SpaceX was working because they seem to be launching more ships.
Well, there's a lot of partnersps. I mean, it's not just NASA. ESA, the European Space Agency.
But as far as who's got the rocket, it's NASA.
Yeah. Well, no. Actually, the Ariane rocket is not NASA.
Okay.
The James Webb Space Telescope is NASA.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's like
NASA's hitching a ride with the private guy to get it up.
No, the Ariane rocket is from, I want to say ESA, from the European Space Agency.
Oh, I got you. So it's a European government. Gotcha.
So, like I said, it's collaboration with different space agencies.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, I'm learning too. See, I don't know either. When it goes up and then we go have. So is this just to run out of time, but real quick, like how does this telescope compare to say like the Hubble? I mean, is it similar in?
It's much bigger.
Okay.
And it's going to be using infrared instead of. Hubble uses a little bit of infrared, but this is more of infrared.
Better. Now, are they going to send it the same direction that the Hubble is, or is it going a different place?
It's actually going to be it's going to be at the Lagrange point 2, which is much, much, much further than the Hubble.
Okay.
And will not be serviceable because it's so far away.
Gotcha.
So it's a one-time shot.
So when do they expect to start seeing like data?
6 months after it's launched.
Cool. Well, very cool. So if you want to learn more, come to the library, talk to, and come out to these events and come participate in the launch or
the party.
pre-launch party.
Pre-launch party. There you go. That's November 13th.
Very cool. Very good. Is there anything else we need to mention? Of course, again, if I know we threw a lot at you in a short amount of time here. Follow if you go to the city's website, roswell-nm.gov. You will find the link to the Roswell Public Library's website there. You'll find all the information we just talked about here. Or better yet, come by the library, pick up a calendar, put it on your fridge, put it wherever you keep those things, and keep that handy. And, of course, for you social media folks out there, like and follow the Roswell Public Library on Facebook or Instagram. If you use one of those two platforms, you'll be regularly kept up to date on all these and other events, too. So good way to stay. And, of course, if you have any questions about anything, don't hesitate. Call library. They'll be happy to get that information to you. And don't forget, now open on Mondays. Come out for a cup of Joe on Monday.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, thank you, ladies. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.
We'll see you here next time. And thank you for all you do. Appreciate it. I know you guys are keeping real busy out there.
Yes, we are.
It's awesome to hear. So I'm glad to see you. It's just nice to have you guys back talking about a bunch of stuff. You know,
Right.
We've
Yes.
just spent the last 2 years and like, well, we might be able to. Now we're having stuff.
Let's do
That's
it.
Great. So
That's
thank
right.
you, ladies.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
thanks.
Well, now we're having stuff.
Let's do
That's
it.
Great. So
That's
thank
right.
you, ladies.
All right,
Appreciate it.
thanks.
All right, 8:50.
Now for a Pecos Valley News update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Roswell firefighters responded to the 1700 block of Southeast Main Street for a structure fire Tuesday. The first crew at the scene reported smoke coming from a flooring business there. The flames located in the shop portion of the A&A Flooring at 1713 Southeast Main Street. It took about an hour for the fire crews to get the situation under control. No word yet on what started that fire, but damage is said to be extensive. Street maintenance and improvements are scheduled to take place on South Washington Avenue today between West McGaffey and Alameda. And the work should last through October 1st. A contractor will be removing pavement from the surface and replacing it with fresh pavement and restriping the finished road. That work is planned between McGaffey Street and the Hondo River Bridge, which is south of Summit Street. You're up to date. That's a look at local news headlines this hour. I'm Jared Cirillo.
It started quietly last week with almost zero media attention, but it's only a matter of time before everyone sees the war coming. The war to regulate all cryptocurrency. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by T-Mobile. Their advanced network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. Cryptocurrency was created to allow for anonymous, untraceable financial transactions. Regulators were caught by surprise by the surge and considered Bitcoin and all the others just a novelty. But with criminals of all types using crypto, governments are waking up. Cryptocurrency firms are desperately hiring lobbyists to fend off subpoenas in what Bloomberg calls a fight over how, not when, but how this multi-trillion-dollar industry will be regulated. And it appears that crypto's weak point is lending. The Securities and Exchange Commission will get its hook into crypto through companies that lend cybercurrency and then regulate them like banks. Cryptocurrency's anonymity will be over. Get tech news at commando.com. The very best investment is the one that you make in yourself. And with all the change in the world lately, getting an MBA is one of the smartest ways to prepare for the future and your future. The W.P. Carey School of Business at Arizona State University is where I graduated and offers full-time, part-time, online, and executive MBA programs, all ranked in the top 30 nationally by U.S. News & World Report. You can get your MBA from this top-recognized school of business on your schedule, and no matter where you live. As we all embrace the new normal, the world will need leaders ready for the challenge. And there's nowhere better to prepare yourself for what's next than ASU, named the most innovative university in the country by U.S. News for 6 consecutive years. Discover the MBA for what's next, the W.P. Carey MBA at Arizona State University. Learn more right now at asubusiness.com. ASUbusiness.com.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Not much going on with high pressure parked over eastern New Mexico. Will hit about 90 for the afternoon high today with plenty of sunshine. Could be a little bit breezy in the afternoon. Overnight we'll be in the mid 50s and some clouds moving through. And then tomorrow back up around 90 and mostly sunny. No big changes for the upcoming weekend, upper 80s and low 90s. That's your latest forecast. First, I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Southeastern New Mexico Sports Report. So we got some volleyball action tonight. NMMI at 3-7 will be playing at Tatum 6-3. That might be tough for the Lady Colts. Lake Arthur with a 1-2 record will be at home against Jowl, which is 5-6. Artesia on Tuesday knocked off Carlsbad in a sweep. Artesia's now sitting at 7-3, and Goddard is 7-2 overall after defeating Clovis 3-1 on Tuesday. The Lady Rockets have won 7 in a row after losing their first 2 matches of the season. Coming up, you've got tournament play. Goddard will be at the Rio Rancho tournament this weekend, and Roswell, sitting at 5-5, also has a tournament in store Friday and Saturday. Likewise for Gateway Christian and Magdalena. Gateway Christian at 7-0 will be at the Capitan tournament. Hagerman at the same tournament, sitting at 5-4. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at 92.9 The Brand.
With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Bill Alexander. The vast majority of United Airlines employees are deciding to get vaccinated against COVID-19 rather than risk losing their job. United said Wednesday that more than 97% of its U.S.-based employees are fully vaccinated, but some employees are objecting. The electric company subsidiary that provides electricity to New Orleans is responding to calls for an investigation of power losses during Hurricane Ida, with options that include having the city assume control of municipal electrical service. That's one of 4 options Energy New Orleans outlined Tuesday. On Wall Street, the Dow up 338 points, closing at 34,258. The Nasdaq gained 150 to 14,896, and the S&P 500 up 41 points to 4,395. With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
With almost 90 entries, Roswell Ford's Hometown Heroes Car Show was a tremendous success. We commemorated 9/11, raised more than $2,000 for the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, and had a lot of fun. Congratulations to all our winners, especially the Best of Show and People's Choice winner Ryan Bredyke and his remarkable 1939 Lincoln Zephyr. And Carol Morgan's beautiful 1956 Ford Thunderbird, the Roswell Ford champion. Our 2021 hometown hero is Joel Juarez, who received numerous nominations from our community. Roswell Ford truly appreciates the sponsors, judges, and scores of volunteers who made the Hometown Heroes Car Show possible. We're looking forward to an even bigger event next year. Roswell Ford is proud of our nation, proud of our city, and proud of our hometown heroes. And we hope that when you're ready for a new vehicle, you'll give us a chance to serve you. Roswell Ford, the Tailgate Nation at the corner of 9th and Main.
Big O Tires is celebrating its Carlsbad location's 1-year anniversary with big savings. Now through September 30th, get $50 off sets of 4 in-stock Big O brand tires. Up to $150 in tire rebates from brands like Goodyear, Pirelli, Bridgestone, Hankook, and General Tires. Plus discounts on oil changes, alignments, financing options, and more. Stop by either Big O location for these big deals. 4212 National Parks Highway in Carlsbad or 1305 North Main Street in Roswell. Installation charges extra. Eligibility may vary. Disposal and local tire fees extra. Up to 10% shop fee based on non-discounted regular retail price. Not to exceed $35 where permitted. See store and rebate forms for details.
When you think of home health care here in Roswell, what's the first thing that pops into your head? That's right, Frontier Medical. We've been doing it better than anyone else for over 20 years. From in-home nursing to physical therapy and so much more. Doctors and hospitals from Albuquerque to Lubbock and everywhere in between have been trusting their patients to us here at Frontier Medical. So when it's time to make a choice, remember Frontier Medical. 575-627-1112. Frontier Medical.
Name to remember.
The sun is setting on another summer, and that means savings for you during the end of summer clearance event at Richland Chevrolet. All this month, we're slashing prices across the lot. That means super low payments like a 08 Jeep Wrangler as low as $238 a month, a 2007 Toyota Tundra as low as $228 a month, or a 2014 Chevy Malibu for as little as $219 a month. Don't let the sun set on these savings. It's on all September long, the end of summer clearance event at Richland Chevy on West 2nd in Roswell. Ride for the brand.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. A U.S. quarter has 119 grooves at its edge. A dime has one less groove. So by definition, that makes a dime less groovy. Here's Mike Winters.
And it is closing in on 8 o'clock. We'll have the folks from Big, dang it, Boys and Girls Club join us next. Don't go away.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. For the second straight week, applications for unemployment benefits are up. They rose 16,000 last week to 351,000. That's more than economists were expecting, and it's considered a sign that the coronavirus Delta variant continues taking a toll on the job market. Although it cleared the Senate with support from both sides of the aisle, a massive infrastructure bill may encounter stiff Republican resistance in the House.
While 19 out of 50 GOP senators voted for the roughly $1 trillion bill, far fewer of their House counterparts, who are more aligned with former President Trump, have indicated that they would support it. A notice from House Minority Whip Steve Scalise's office says Republican leaders will urge members to vote against the bipartisan bill because Democrats are linking it with their $3.5 trillion reconciliation package to expand social safety net programs and invest in climate change mitigation efforts. The decision by House GOP leaders to whip against the bipartisan bill puts them at odds with their Senate counterparts and further demonstrates how they are more closely aligned with Mr. Trump. Bernie Bennett in Washington.
The Food and Drug Administration giving a green light to a Pfizer COVID vaccine booster shot for those 65 and older.
The FDA also granted emergency use authorization for the extra vaccine dose to those at high risk from the virus. It's the latest step toward the U.S. offering boosters, but it's not a done deal yet. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has yet to weigh in on who it believes should get boosters and when. The Biden administration wants to dispense third doses of the vaccine amid the spread of the Delta variant, which has driven a surge in cases and deaths. Greg Clugston, Washington.
President Biden trying to forge a compromise over his $3.5 trillion spending proposal. He's been meeting with reluctant Democrats. Republicans united in opposition to the massive spending bill. Wall Street, the Dow's up 419 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
One listener that stands out that I worked with was this older couple that was interested in refinancing. They reached out to a few different lenders, and their credit wasn't the best. I know some of these other bigger banks, you just won't hear back from them, which I cannot stand. Not everybody has the 780 credit scores, and just because you don't qualify at one time doesn't mean that you'll never qualify. I'll walk you through what you have to do, whether it's 2, 3, 6 months from now. Back to that older couple, we worked with them for months and months to improve their credit, and we were able to get the loan done. We were saving them hundreds each month, thousands of dollars a year, finally got themselves into a situation financially that they can handle, and they could start saving money each month for retirement. End of the day, they just could not be happier, which just put a huge smile on my face.
We are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
Britain's prime minister urging world leaders at the UN to take radical, urgent action on climate change.
The prime minister focused his speech exclusively on the climate crisis. He described the Glasgow conference as a critical turning point for humanity, saying that by then, countries must take responsibility for the destruction they are inflicting on the planet. Mr. Johnson thanked China for pledging to end its funding of overseas coal projects, the U.S. and Denmark for promising money to help developing nations adapt to climate change, and Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan for vowing to plant 10 billion trees. He urged other countries to take similar action, saying current pledges to cut carbon emissions were not enough, and that governments must go further and faster with very substantial reductions.
The BBC's Barbara Platt-Usher reporting. The Bank of England holding its main interest rate at a record low, 0.1%. Townhall.com. Chicago-based aerospace giant Boeing looking to open a plant overseas, a plant in Australia. It will manufacture a new kind of military drone.
Boeing says it has selected Queensland State as the final assembly point for its unmanned Loyal Wingman planes. The first test flights were completed earlier this year. It's the first military combat aircraft to be designed and manufactured in Australia in half a century.
That's correspondent Jeremy House. The Biden administration's special envoy to Haiti, Daniel Foote, has resigned, protesting what he terms inhumane large-scale expulsions of Haitian migrants through their homeland, which is racked by civil strife and natural disaster. That word this morning from U.S. officials. Foote was appointed to the post only in July following the assassination of the Haitian president. To get on Wall Street this hour, the Dow up 480 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. It on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Thank you, Tanner, of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday. Yeah, we're almost there. Not quite. You smell it, taste it, see it from here, but not quite there yet. So, happy Thursday. You know, one thing that I'm a little bit happy about this week is it's like all the fall shows. This is like the week where all the networks are putting their new seasons and new shows on for the fall. And as far as a television guy goes, I do enjoy this time of the year for that. It's like regular shows you watch, you're like, all right, now I'm getting back to the new ones. And then like if there's new shows, like, oh yeah, I wanted to check that one out. And then most of them, I think go the way of the dodo, see what sticks kind of thing, especially in this day and age we live in, where there's so many choices to find live television now, where, back in the day when there was just the networks and then cable came in, and now, we've had the big surge and, where you can get new content now. So it's a good thing. I'm happy about all of it, but you kind of forget, oh yeah, it's 'tis the season where the networks put out the new shows and all that stuff. So like it's good TV every night this week, and especially because you also have that juxtaposition of wrapping up some of your summer stuff still while starting like I'm a mark for Big Brother, and I didn't watch last night, so don't tell me it didn't come on till 9 o'clock, and I didn't want to stay up till 10, so we recorded it and I'll watch it tonight. And I think the finale's tonight, but so don't say nothing, no spoilers. But yeah, because now we have a problem of what do we watch? Do we record? And I was like, all right, because this is kind of in our house, and I don't know if people do this still, or I don't know. My wife and I are a little old-fashioned on this side, so I don't know if this is the way of everybody else, or just because we're middle-aged people that this is how we do it. But generally I kind of go, and then I'll go through, and I'm like, all right, I'll go through the guide and pick out the kind of set our lineup for what's on TV for the night, and then. But as I do it, I'm like, okay, well, we like these two shows. They're on at 7. Which one do you want to watch? Which one do you want to record? So that's kind of a regular thing for my wife and I every pre-evening. While we're talking after the what do you want for dinner? I don't know. What do you want for dinner? After that conversation, every day is the conversation of, well, what's on TV tonight? All right, let's do it. And then I give her. But so. Like normally, during the summer here, usually it's like, oh, well, there's nothing new on. We're going to be digging into our thing of recordings or Netflix or whatever, Prime or one of the many other things I pay way too much money for. But anyway, but this week it's like, no. We got like last night, because Masked Singer premiered last night. We like watching that. That new show or the Avatar thing, that was on last night, which I recorded, didn't watch. I don't know if that's going to be good or not. My wife and I like watching The Connors, so we watched that. It was a live, they did a live version of it last night to start the premiere. So like, yeah, we'll watch that. Then we went and watched that home economics thing, which we watched the last season. It was all right because it filled a half hour. And then of course, we're also into Big Brother and all that. So I've got recordings now to watch. But anyway, it's my whole point of that. It's a good time for TV, so enjoy. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. Here in just a few minutes, we'll get you up to date with the weather. Then here about 8:15 or so, Natasha Welt with the Roswell Boys and Girls Club will be joining us. Our Boys and Girls Club of Chavez and Lincoln County, I believe, is what they're officially called, but here in Roswell. And we'll get an update from her, chit-chat about what they've got going on. Families need to listen up because there's a lot of resources and things available to you for your children through Boys and Girls Club. So we'll talk a little bit about that with Natasha here in just a bit. Later on this hour, we'll get you up to date with the local news along with your town hall business update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. Like tonight, I know there's other things. And then I'm also a mark for like documentaries on Vice. Everyone, like I watch... Because now it's kind of weird. I'm at an age now where I'm late 40s here, but all the documentaries on Vice now, it seems like, are built for people that grew up when I grew up. And I look and it like because they talk about like I'm not even a wrestling fan. I watched when I was a kid, but as an adult I don't watch wrestling. But I love Dark Side of the Ring. I love the story behind the story. So I watch that show because I'm kind of familiar with all the characters and everything. So I love that. So again, and most of the people are talking about 80s, 70s. They get in the 90s some, but people I was familiar with. And then they do like they did a whole thing on the DC Sniper, which I was here in New Mexico when that went down, but I had lots of family there, so I kind of followed that situation close. So I'm like, oh, well, let's watch the documentary. And then of course I'm a mark for on Netflix. They get you good. I'm a bit of a mark. I'm not gonna lie, for like the famous either murder or scam cases, like not always murder, like DeLorean with the drugs in the car, and I watched that thing. The Cocaine Cowboys, when they talk about all the cartel stuff in Miami and all that. I'm a mark for that. I'll watch all that stuff just because those are incredibly crazy stories of people in doing their thing. And you know what? There's another thing I'm marked on right now too. Vice started it yesterday. Now I don't watch the Vice News and all that because it's way slanted and all this, but the documentaries I do enjoy. And the one I liked that's on now is and I guess it's a second season because I caught an episode of it like at lunch the other day, and then I caught the new season the other night. It's a show called I Was a Teenage Felon. I know it sounds bad, but it's an interesting story to sit and listen because it's all about these stories generally of kids that, well, the title explains it. The kids that are in their teens, and most of the ones I've seen, the two I've seen, I say most, I've seen two. The two I saw were both drug related. They were both kids that, were in the streets, and now they were basically dealing with cartels in Colombia and Europe and everything else, and they're like 17. And it's kind of interesting stories to hear about that kind of stuff. But anyway, so my point is a lot of good TV, and I'm having it's a Shangri-La of things to like, ooh, let's watch this, record this. We'll got that later. So it's a simple thing, but it's a thing that makes me happy inside. Sometimes I come home, it's like, ooh, I got good stuff to watch tonight. Makes me happy. All right, enough of my personal life. Let's get you up to date with the weather. It is 14 minutes after 8. Here is your weather. Take it away, Steve.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Not much going on with high pressure parked over eastern New Mexico. Will hit about 90 for the afternoon high today with plenty of sunshine. Could be a little bit breezy in the afternoon. Overnight we'll be in the mid-50s and some clouds moving through. And then tomorrow back up around 90 and mostly sunny. No big changes for the upcoming weekend, upper 80s and low 90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, 60 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 36%. Winds are calm at the moment. For today, not too shabby. Kind of what we'd hope our summers really were, but there never are. Partly cloudy today, highs near 90, 89 officially. South winds 5 to 10. Tonight, mostly cloudy. I was expecting a clear, but no, mostly cloudy. Overnight low of 58 with south winds 5 to 15. Partly cloudy for you Friday. Once again, highs right around 89, 90. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy. Overnight low of 55. South winds 5 to 10. So be a good night for some football. For the weekend on Saturday, mostly sunny. I have 86. Winds out of the west 5 to 10. Sunday, you're looking at sunny skies, highs right around 88, 89. And then starting next week, more of the same, right around 80, upper 80s, near 90 for Monday, 88 on Monday. They do throw some a 20% chance of rain on Tuesday with highs in the mid-80s, and then back up around 87 on Wednesday. All right, it is 8:15, and have you been by Zia Guns USA here in Roswell recently? If you haven't, swing on by. They're now a full-line Tacticam dealer. That's right. You've probably watched some hunting shows on TV and see those Tacticams on those shows all over. Well, they got them right here, Zia Guns USA in Roswell. Also, they got a new shipment of knives in stock from brands like Case, Benchmade. Great quality products in stock. Also, they're buying guns. They've got cash on hand. So if you're selling a gun or selling a gun collection or estate sale, they'll make you an offer, cold hard cash. You walk out the door with that cash today. Also, coffee drinkers, swing on by Zia Guns USA here in Roswell and view the full line of Black Rifle coffee. It is available at Zia Guns USA. Also, if you've been online, I see them on Facebook, but I imagine they advertise at other parts of the internets as well. Dr. Squatch, they are a soap line of soap products for men. They are available. They are the only authorized Dr. Squatch retail in the region, so you can see the entire line of their soap products at Zia Guns USA. I know when you buy things online, especially things that smell or you got to wear, sometimes that could be problematic. And now you don't have to worry about that. Go on down Zia Guns, find the soap you like, smell it, do all the things, and then really pick the one you want instead of guessing online there. But swing on by Zia Guns USA here in Roswell, the only gun store to be open on Sundays but closed on Saturdays because they spend Saturdays with family, and you should too. Stop on by 1907 North Main here in Roswell. All right, it is 8:17. Let's go ahead and take a 4-minute commercial break, and then Natasha with Boys and Girls Club will join us on the other side. Do not go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
With almost 90 entries, Roswell Ford's Hometown Heroes Car Show was a tremendous success. We commemorated 9/11, raised more than $2,000 for the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, and had a lot of fun. Congratulations to all our winners, especially the Best of Show and People's Choice winner Ryan Bredyke and his remarkable 1939 Lincoln Zephyr. And Carol Morgan's beautiful 1956 Ford Thunderbird, the Roswell Ford champion. Our 2021 hometown hero is Joel Juarez, who received numerous nominations from our community. Roswell Ford truly appreciates the sponsors, judges, and scores of volunteers who made the Hometown Heroes Car Show possible. We're looking forward to an even bigger event next year. Roswell Ford is proud of our nation, proud of our city, and proud of our hometown heroes. And we hope that when you're ready for a new vehicle, you'll give us a chance to serve you. Roswell Ford, the tailgate nation at the corner of 9th and Main.
Over the next several weeks, we want to give you 5 key elements to a great marriage. This is taken from an article by Drs. Les and Leslie Perot. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage. The first one is ownership. taking responsibility for the good as well as the bad.
1 Corinthians 11:31 says, "Judge yourself so you won't be judged." It's talking about the judgment of God, but it also applies to our relationships, especially the ones that are closest to us, like marriage. If you'll just take responsibility for your own actions, it's so much easier for our spouses not to have to point out and criticize us.
So we have to take responsibility for our actions and our reactions, our attitudes and our mistakes. You know, most people would learn from their mistakes if they weren't so busy denying them.
You aren't responsible for what your spouse does. You are responsible for doing your part. So just decide today to do your part and take ownership.
Well, the Eastern New Mexico State Fair is coming up, and while a lot of people associate the fair with rides, funnel cakes, and feeling queasy, the FFA and 4-H kids are all thinking about their animals. You see, these kids are the first to tell you, our food doesn't come from the supermarket, it comes from the farms and ranches. And they've been working hard all year, raising up their animals and hoping for blue ribbons. This is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, reminding you, a lot more happens in the country than just stealing watermelons. Or maybe that was just me.
Have you been dealing with stress or anxiety lately? Don't let that stop you from getting the dental work done that you know needs to happen. Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher with Carabelli Dental, and every day we help people just like you have a relaxing and pain-free experience with IV sedation. Just imagine a dental experience where you don't remember the needles or the drills. If that's what you're looking for, we can help. Let us ease your stress and create the best dental experience ever.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main or call 622-4455.
Sometimes we put off important health needs like surgeries because, well, we worry about the pain and time needed for recovery. Dr. Paul Torres, a board-certified general surgeon, has joined Loveless Specialty Healthcare and is helping patients in the Roswell area get back to the lives they love with less pain and a faster recovery through advances in minimally invasive surgery. To find out if laparoscopic surgery is the best solution for you, call Loveless and make an appointment today at 575-625-3222.
Okay, so look, Mexican restaurants are everywhere around here. You can throw a rock and hit an authentic Mexican restaurant. Don't throw rocks. But La Gran Victoria is different. Delicious, authentic, made from scratch family recipes and even a few favorites too, like agua frescas in a variety of flavors. Take advantage of Taco Tuesday, Hamburger Wednesday, and the daily 2-2-2-2 breakfast special with 2 eggs, bacon, sausage, and your choice of potatoes for only $7.49. Open at 8 a.m. for breakfast 7 days a week at the corner of 4th and Richardson. Find them on Facebook too. La Gran Victoria, Roswell's home at the flavor.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The world's oldest chewing gum dates back to at least 5,000 years. After chewing it, they stuck it at the bottom of their desk. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 8 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from Boys and Girls Club. I always want to say Roswell Boys and Girls Club, but technically it's Lincoln and Chaves County Boys and Girls Club. But you get the message either way. It's here in Roswell. Natasha Welt back with us. Good morning.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm doing great.
Good. It's been a while since we had a chance to talk to you.
Yes.
I think actually pre-COVID, really, because you guys were hopping there pre-COVID, and then well, like the rest of the world, everything shut down when COVID started. But I guess let's start there. How is Boys and Girls Club faring right now post-COVID here?
Well, we're here and we're open. We just went through our remodel.
Good deal.
So the whole building is remodeled.
So that was a blessing in disguise a little bit there. Yeah,
it was. We relocated to the Aquatic Center while the remodel was happening and ran programs over there.
The Pet Temporary Dig had a pool, so you can't complain there.
Can't complain. So after that, we moved back in. We've got brand new LED lighting throughout the whole building.
Very good.
So that's really awesome.
Sure.
We love it. The gym is basically brand new.
Nice.
Brand new floor, brand new roof. We've got brand new HVAC system throughout the whole building.
So it's a new facility.
It's a new facility, yeah.
That's great.
Polished cement or concrete for the flooring.
And
Beautiful.
I imagine too with the less sexy but more necessary side, it's probably the building's much more ADA compliant and everything since it was originally designed back in the day.
Yeah, when we the whole building's repainted.
Yeah.
Boys and Girls Club we repainted the outside of it ourselves, just so that we could
have your touch on
fresh,
it.
Have a fresh part of it.
Well, I think too, it's like especially something like Boys and Girls, it's the club. It's it's an organization where its members take possession of it.
Yes,
and so I think them actually coming and painting and being a part of it is like their stamp of saying this was our contribution to the physical property here. Yeah.
So we're also going to do landscaping in the whole front of the building. We're going to put in a xeriscape.
All right.
Instead of the grass that's there.
Good deal.
I don't know if it's grass or if it's just kind of
weed-like
grass, but we're going to get rid of it and we're going to put in rocks and some boulders and stuff.
The weather we're starting to get an area where that will be more cooperative for you, so that all the kids can be outside and not scorching heat and everything.
Yeah, it'll be good stuff.
And since it's xeriscaping, it's not like a lot of seasonal plants and things to worry about.
No, it's not.
So,
There's just like yucca and ocotillo plants that'll be stuck out there.
So as long as it's not snowing or raining, you could probably plant this stuff anytime. So,
So it'll be good. It'll be good. A good facelift.
I think so. And plus, again, it's another teaching / moment of exposing the kids to more opportunities.
More stuff.
Yeah, I know. Like, for instance, if you go to the Facebook page right now for Chavis and Lincoln County Boys and Girls Club, I think one of the things y'all did yesterday or the last couple days was a thing on butterflies and the gardening and all that.
Oh,
and,
man,
and this is more of that. And that's what Boys and Girls Club is. It's an opportunity to expose children to many different things that they may or may not get access to either in school or in their personal lives. And hopefully that turns it into maybe a career or a passion or something that they find their niche in life and the things that's theirs. You know?
That's what we're there for. We're there to show them that it's not just all about, going home after school and playing video games.
Exactly.
And whatever it might be, come to the club. And that butterfly release was awesome.
Yeah.
Jim and Vicky Burris, they brought over a tent and they brought over her collection of butterflies. They brought caterpillars. And the kids got to literally be in this tent with them as they released the butterflies out. And they were flying all over them.
And who knows, the group of kids that were part of this, next thing you know, maybe one of them, they're going to be a biologist or be a zookeeper or be a veterinarian
because of them coming out and showing them these butterflies.
Yeah, exactly.
They wouldn't have known that that's what they wanted to do until they were at the club hanging out with butterflies.
Exactly. That's what it's all about. So it's I don't know if it necessarily is the way it's intended to, but Boys and Girls Clubs almost like let's expose them to as many things as we can and kind of see what sticks.
Yes.
That mantra of let's just throw it all up against the wall and see what sticks kind of mentality. And it's a little more organized and planned than that. But in essence, that's kind of what Boys and Girls Club is like. It's like, let's get them, all right, you love video gaming? Well, here's some the not playing side of video game and learn more about computer skills and things. Or maybe you can learn about sports. Okay, you love sports? Well, let's talk about the team and building and the leadership side of sports and work some of those angles in. Or hey, okay, kids, you want to start a project. What do you want to start? Let's work with it. And then you find out the elements and that's
in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now obviously everything's age appropriate. So you're not getting the younger kids and saying, all right, you're going to create a project here. They work their way up to that.
Yes.
But that's the beauty of Boys and Girls Club. It progresses with the kids. So if they come in young, they're doing some of the things that are more appropriate for the younger age kids. But as they get older and go into middle school and into high school, Boys and Girls Club continues for them. And they, in essence, much like a lot of youth programs, they go from being the students to the mentors in some aspect.
Yes, they do. A lot of some of the older kids like to read with the younger kids.
Yeah.
And so it's real cool to see them when we have our literacy program twice a week that we run it. And the older kids come in and they sit with the younger kids and they help them read through the books.
Gotcha. So they're like little tutors.
Yeah, it's really cool to see. The younger kids love that time.
Yeah.
They love for the bigger kids to come in and grasp that with them. And so that's really cool.
And that's another side that yes, we want to expose the children to as many different opportunities and things too. But through all that, they learn the ancillary life lessons, the things that as parents you want to teach them and you want to expose them to, but sometimes you can't teach certain moments when it's just a family setting and kids.
Yes, when they just go home after school. Because I wonder, honestly, where our elementary and most of our middle school kids
like you said, post-COVID now, and the numbers aren't what they were.
They aren't what they were.
Yeah, it's just a truth.
Yeah, and I can't figure out where these kids are going.
Yeah.
I don't know if they are just going home and playing video games all day after school until mom and dad get off of work, or if they are going to grandparents' houses or whatever it might be.
Or
but
doing the things pre-COVID that,
Yes.
kids that are out with free time, and
Yep.
we don't want them,
we
idle
don't want
hands,
them on
idle
the
time,
streets.
and doing
Yeah,
things
we
that
don't
they
want
should.
that. We want them to come to the club and have an opportunity to get their homework finished.
Yeah.
Because we do offer that. We offer
And that's
homework time.
Priority one, generally speaking, before we start, playing activities and do all that.
Yes.
Priority one is, all right, let's house school. What's going on? Where can we help you with that? What's your homework?
Yep.
What assignments you got? How'd you do on those? Let's see. Okay, you didn't do well on that test. Let's take a look at why.
Let's find
and
out
figure
why.
it out. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what we're there for after school. We spend about an hour with them on their homework. So they have an opportunity to complete it before they even go home.
Yeah.
And then they can go into the program.
So when the kids
area.
get home at the end of the day and then they tell you the homework's done, they're actually telling the truth.
It's actually right. Yes, because we've helped them take care of it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's good.
And then obviously, families are concerned with, the COVID and social distance, all of the practices that that the state are requiring. You guys are practicing and doing.
So we do, we practice all of the COVID safe stuff.
Yeah.
We do wear masks in the building. We stay about 3 feet apart.
Okay.
While we're in the building, the kids have to do an arm length, each of them.
So you make them cognizant of it, and that's part of the activities.
When they line up, they've got to line up apart. They sit at separate tables. They still interact with each other all day, every day. It's not like they're separate in their own little community.
But you're more cognizant of the spreading.
Yes,
and so
and I tell you what, the spreading of sickness has decreased.
Good.
Immensely.
Good.
It's crazy. Crazy.
I've said this, and this was because my wife's a teacher, and so that's just the nature of the beast. In the normal world, my wife gets colds every year, and so guaranteed I get them. So usually during the winter months, if I don't have a cold, I feel like I'm getting out of one or coming into one.
Yes.
And that hasn't happened much since.
It's just not
started.
there.
Yeah.
And I think it's because the kids are distanced away from each other. They're not on their face as much with their hands.
Yeah.
They're not.
And
it's just different.
We just got to find, and we as a society, I don't want to get into a whole discussion about this, but we as a society got to figure out the happy medium. We got to find out, because there are some obvious, very important things with the close interaction. Social, that's humanity. We need that.
Yes.
However,
and we have that still.
We've got to also be cognizant that it now's a little bit more of a troublesome time to do that. So you just got to find the medium. We don't want to go uber crazy and be like, all right, let's put everybody in bubbles and walk around and all that. But at the same time, we just don't want to disregard this and not do anything, proactive about it. So,
and that's what we're doing. We're just trying to be proactive with the masks and the distancing, and the kids don't seem to mind. So we just kind of go on our way with it. And they have to wear masks all day at school anyways.
They're getting conditioned, I guess you could say.
That's
a term you want to use. But
it's what it is.
Sure.
And it's where we're at. So,
but we would like to get your kids out. Come on out and be a part of this.
Be a part of it.
What's the official age range for children to be a part of a Boys and Girls Club?
Right now, we're offering for 1st through 8th grade.
Okay,
is what we've got. We have 1st graders in the building, and we have 8th graders in the building.
Gotcha.
So we're offering that just medium, right in between.
Okay.
We've got
now. Does demand change that for you, or say you get a bunch of high school kids that want to be in it?
We need a teen program.
Okay,
we really do need a teen program.
Gotcha. So it's a personnel and staffing.
It is.
Basically, just like everything else in the COVID world.
Because
you guys are short-staffed too.
Oh, yes. And we are hiring as well. We do need somebody to work with the kids. We need a youth development professional.
Okay.
That's what we're looking for at the moment. So,
all right. Anybody interested? Is it, I guess, can they apply direct through Boys and Girls Club, or is it on Workforce Collections?
At our place.
Okay.
201 South Garden.
Come see the new digs.
Yes. And you can, and just grab an application from me, and that's kind of where we're going with it.
Awesome. And then, obviously, rule number 1 is probably work well with kids.
Yes, yes, you have to like kids.
If you don't like
order.
kids, maybe this job's not your cup of tea.
This probably isn't your area. Yes, and with that, with the teen program, that we would love to get one in the building. We just need the right person for it.
Sure.
Somebody who's going to be willing to stay later.
Yeah.
It's
a labor of love.
These guys.
Anytime you're in nonprofit organizations, I don't care what it is. If you work for one, it's always a labor of love.
Yes,
because you're doing less with more. That's or did I say that right? Doing more with less.
More with less.
Yeah, I reversed it. You're doing more with less on that, and that's just the way of the world in a nonprofit. And so, it's all about committed people.
Yes, and that's what we need.
And so, if you're one of those people that have a passion for kids and doing these things, and are willing to say, you know what, I'm willing to work late and do things that above and beyond the call because it's for the benefit of these kids.
It's for these kids.
You're not going to get rich or famous, but you're going to make a difference in kids' lives.
But you are going to make a difference in the community and what these kids are going to do and grow up to be.
You're an integral part in the future of our community.
Yeah. And in the end, it's something I always like to say is we're not changing these kids' lives, but they're changing our lives.
You're absolutely true.
And gosh, man, some of these kids, I'm just like, wow.
I imagine yourself could say this and your other individuals that are part of it, that you've probably taken more out of the program than you give or feel like you
put
have.
in. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
feel like you
I don't think you actually have, but you feel like you have.
Yeah. Going off of that, on the giving back part, we are going to do our Thanksgiving dinner this year.
Awesome.
We discussed it and we decided that is something that we're able to do.
Perfect.
It's not going to be a sit-in.
Okay.
So the last year that we did our community dinner, we were able to do it to go.
Good deal.
So you just come in, go across our buffet line,
pick up a meal, and take it to your family.
Box and go on home and eat it with your family.
So you're going to try to do that again this year?
So that's what we're going to do again this year.
Okay. So I'd imagine you probably use some help with donations.
Yes,
and
we need donations
food items.
of turkeys is what we need. And we need help that day with volunteers
to serve and cook and oversee and
all
things like
stuff.
that.
Yep.
Are some of the kids going to be? Are they allowed to help out with some of the
in
prep
the past
and stuff?
they were.
Good. I didn't know what the rules
I'd
were on all that kind of
imagine
stuff.
this year we're going to be able to do the same.
Good.
Providing
because I
all the
imagine
stuff.
There's a few boys and girls that are coming in the program that are going to be the next Wolfgang Puck or Gordon Ramsay out there.
Yes, and that would be really cool for them to go into something like that. And so that we're going to do it on November 23rd.
Okay.
And it'll just be a take and go.
Okay. Is that the Wednesday before?
It's the Tuesday before.
The Tuesday before.
Yeah,
okay,
the Tuesday before Thanksgiving.
So your Thanksgiving Day will be Thursday. And then Tuesday you can come and have the meal. And I would imagine, too, like you said, if you want to volunteer, please reach out.
Yeah, for sure. We need
volunteers of family. Those are always great. We always think of Thanksgiving as a time of giving back and things. And so if you're looking for an opportunity as a family to give back during that time, please reach out to Boys and Girls Club. They'd love to have you do that.
That would be amazing for volunteers.
It's a great way to, I know as some parents, and it's a great idea. I love it, instilling in some of that, giving them, and this is how they kind of use that as the tool for their kids. And Boys and Girls Club would love that help, but also would love to help you mentor your kids, help you help your kids too.
Yes, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
So we've got space in the program, like I said, for grades 1 through 8.
Okay. Probably just come on by the new facility there or the updated facility.
You can come by and pick up a membership application.
Okay.
We do pick up from various schools around town. That fee for the van is $20.
Okay.
And that's per month.
Okay.
And then we've got a membership fee of $30 per month. So,
and are you guys still doing some of the special stuff on Wednesdays because of early release and things like that? Or
we
is that
pick
kind
up
of
the kids. Yeah, we pick up the kids from school, just normal on Wednesdays.
Gotcha.
Their early release day.
So the program
and then
just unofficially starts earlier because the kids are there
exactly
earlier.
what it is. And we've got every other week we actually have Amy. I think her last name is Steen. Coming in from the ICANN program.
Okay.
And so she comes in and she talks to the kids about like fruits and vegetables and different ways to prepare them.
Okay.
One of our members actually took her paper home 2 weeks ago and prepared a smoothie for her family.
Nice.
And so she was able to process the whole thing out from beginning to end of how to make it. So that was really neat to hear Mom talk about that.
Yeah. Well, and hopefully that lights the fire to like maybe that's their culinary. Now they're gonna who knows? Now they're gonna be like, all right, well, what else can I do with a smoothie?
What can I do with these?
And next thing you know, they're the smoothie king of 2032.
Right. So they've got their own smoothie business or whatever it might be. So and that's just because we brought in this program, the I Can program, and she talked to them about fruits and vegetables, and they were like, "Oh, I want to go home and make a smoothie."
Yeah. I mean,
so it's cool.
Absolutely. I mean, as parents and adults, think about it. You know, how did you learn or come across the things you're into? You were exposed to it some way, whether it was through an outing with your friends as a kid or something you saw on TV or something you did with your family. That's, well, heck, I'm a radio guy. I grew up loving and listening to radio, and here I am today. But that passion started because I was exposed to something.
Yes.
And I know as parents, you try to want to get your kids active, do things, or let's face it, life is going 100 miles an hour, especially in the world of COVID, and you get home at the end of the day, and the last thing you want to do is create a program to instill the family and get them going. You're kind of like, I just want to cook dinner and
chill,
turn on the TV and vegetate till bedtime.
Yep.
I get that. But, and there's time for that too, and that's not a bad thing either sometimes. But if it's easier to do that every night and then get into a routine,
a habit.
Yeah. So
habit of it.
I think something like this forces you to break the routine.
Yes, it does.
And make and I'm not saying and let's face it, this is a program where it exposes the children to new things. And there may be certain things that put them out of that comfort zone a little bit. Not like dangerous or anything like that, but exposing them to things that they don't know how to grasp or
how
handle.
To process through.
Maybe they get put in a social situation there where they become a leader in some group there. And,
yes.
And if you've never done that before, it's out of your comfort zone. But going through that experience gives you the experience, gives you the confidence. So the next time they run into that situation, they're like, all right, I got a little better handle on this. And then the next time after that, they're a little better. And in essence, that's Boys and Girls Club. It's putting those ancillary life lessons and at the same time giving them opportunities to see and do things that they normally wouldn't get to do in their day. And who knows, find their passion, find their niche in this world, whether maybe they learned, who knows, maybe the next basketball player comes out of there, maybe the next kid that invents the latest thing in technology that we don't know we need yet. But they don't know about these things until they live their lives. And so Boys and Girls Club is a chance to enhance their lives. And that's what it is. Now there's a lot of perks as parents and things like, because now, obviously your lives are crazy and difficult after school and things. I don't care what parents out there, they've always had to negotiate the child care issue, whether they got it handled or not. So that's an ancillary thing. So if you have child care right now and it's just home and things like that, look at Boys and Girls Club as an alternative to say, because you're actually going to save money if you're paying money to take care of your kids or doing something like that.
Yes.
Let's, and depending on circumstances, they can pick them up from schools. I mean, there's a lot of different options there. And so you're filling the need of, well, I need my child occupied after school till they get home from work.
Right.
But rather than they're at home eating whatever snacks out in games or what else is not doing. They're going into something that is structured, but not like, and I say structured.
It is structured.
But it's not like boot camp. I don't want you to get confused. Like they're not going to come in and it's like, all right, line up straight.
That's not how it is.
It's structured as they've got a curriculum.
Yep.
But it's in an environment that lets them grow, experiment, be creative, be them.
Make new friends. And, because we've got kids that are friends from different schools.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't be able to get that aspect if they just go home.
And in especially in the world we live in today, especially, and I be honest, I think this is some of our problems stemming in our world today where, technology is a good thing and we're going to keep moving forward and embracing that. Yes. But I think skills that generations ago we take for granted because you just kind of automatically get them as you go navigate in life. But because technology, some of those experiences are going away.
They are.
And something as simple as having a face-to-face conversation with someone that doesn't involve any kind of technology or phones or speaking to someone in something that's not 110 characters or talking in acronyms and you know what I mean? Just that our social world has gone online. And so we as human beings act differently online socially than we do in face-to-face world.
Yes, in person.
And
I can agree with that.
And I'm afraid without programs like Boys and Girls Club where they get day-to-day group settings, working with
the
people,
interaction.
face, hand, actually together and doing a project that doesn't involve pushing buttons or doing something that's technical.
Right.
That's where you get those skills. And that's where when this kid who's now 10 or 12, who's dealing, when they're 30 and 40, now they're adjusted as adults and they can have a conversation and not be like, that's, yeah. They actually laugh and just go, instead of going LOL. And you're like, you don't even laugh anymore. You just say LOL. And you're like,
what's wrong with you?
And I feel like that's a bit of a drawback from technology.
Yes,
I think.
it is. It is. And they don't, if they're just going home or to the streets or whatever it might be after school, that's all they're getting is their phone or the video games or whatever it might be. That's what it is that they're doing.
Sure.
And come and let them, hang out with us and hang out with the kids. And we've got so many different programs. We have a literacy program that the kids are doing. We've got a community service that we do every week.
Yeah. So they really get a chance to kind of find their place in the world and understand, that they're a cog in the big picture of society. And
yesterday
we all rely on each other to do things.
We do. And that's just the thing is, like, yesterday one of the kids brought in just empty water bottles and stuck them in our recycling bin. And I was like, look at that. He remembered that we've got the recycle bins up front and he brought water bottles to put in there. And so it was just, I was like, thanks, kiddo.
Sure.
And little things like that they probably wouldn't. I don't know if they recycle at home. I don't know how many people still recycle, but it was neat to watch him put those in the bin.
Well, kids are recorders, I don't, and they record and emulate the actions of people they look up to. That's that's human nature.
That's what they do.
And so you're now by defact dropping them off and coming to the thing, they're getting exposed to those kinds of things and understanding it. And the technology world, it's more about me. And what's it for me, and how am I going to succeed in this world? And I'm not saying that's not important. You want personal growth, personal self-awareness, and self-loving,
all the stuff,
good stuff. But it's like anything. There's always too much of a good thing.
There's too much of it. Yes, I can agree.
And I think
screen time needs to be limited.
The real face-to-face, the stuff going on. That's how you fix those obstacles, because you got to be able to have a foot in both worlds and know how to operate in both.
Yes. And it teaches the kids a lot of self-control and a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? They learn how to take care of situations on their own.
Problem-solving skills and things like that. And I'm not trying to just, do that, but you look at the world we live in today and the unrest and people's and communication and interaction and all that is very much a part of the problem in all this, I think. And I think things like Boys and Girls Club are the things to combat this for future generations.
Right.
If you don't want to continue to see this kind of thing going spiral even worse, we've got to create the foundation for the generation growing up now, instill in the values, instill in them the balance of being everyone has a voice. Even if you don't like that voice, and we all need to find a way to coexist.
Come in and respect.
Exactly.
And that's what we try to instill in them is you don't have to be everybody's friend, but you've got to respect them and their space and who they are.
Absolutely.
It teaches them in the end that they're an individual too, just like me.
Sure.
So,
yeah. You're establishing the children's values and things, all the things that when they become adults, hopefully they're using to rely on to navigate and be successful.
They need those things.
And parents, it's the hardest job on the planet to do.
Yes.
Allow help.
Let us help you.
Yeah. Allow.
Let us help you.
It's hard to get someone ready for the world if there's just one or two people or three people involved in the raising of them.
It really does take a village. And you don't realize that until you have kids or you need help or whatever it might be. But
I think here's the difference. And I know but I think the difference on that is, as a parent, I mean, you can teach and show and explain the right and wrong and everything else, but humans don't absorb things as a whole until they experience it sometimes.
Yes.
And so until they actually get put in a situation where they're dealing with the things you're talking about. Like, if you tell someone that has no concept and says, there are bad people in this world, you got to protect yourself from them. But they don't know that. And they're like, what do you mean? And so you can tell them until they're blue in the face. But until they're in the world and they see
in that situation,
something like you're talking about, they don't know how to
they don't see it.
Truly experience it or understand what you're telling them.
To go through it.
Yeah, and life is hard. I don't care what anybody says, and you got to prepare for the good and the bad. And because you fill them with the good and the love, you prepare them for the bad. And hope they are able to navigate and to delineate when it's time to put the heart, when it's time to put the fight up. And that's all we can hope as parents and adults. And I think at the end of the day, Boys and Girls Club is a tool to help achieve that.
Yes, it is. It is. That's
so
what we're there for.
It's there for you. The services are free of charge for many of these things here. Obviously, in some of the other programs and things, we can work out those kind of deals. But money's not the hurdle here. Getting your kids involved and exposed to all that the Boys and Girls Club has to offer is the thing. So call. Let's see how we can make that happen today.
I think so.
Again, you can come by the office there.
Yes.
What's the actual address?
201 South Garden.
South Garden.
It's right behind the Farmers Country Market on East 2nd.
Building looks a little different. You haven't been by there recently, but come on by. Check it out while you're there. Say, hey, you
come
are bringing your kid
and
here.
Have a tour.
Come see the new layout and the new amenities and everything.
We are there to tour you through the building.
Yeah.
Show you what we're doing, the different programs and such.
And then, like I said, if you want to volunteer, if you'd like to be a part, maybe you're an individual that's into a thing.
A different type of skill.
It could be anything. Maybe you love stamp collecting. Maybe you love woodworking. Maybe you love flowers, gardens, clothing, whatever it is. If you are someone who's pretty good at that and love to share that with
please
with the next generation.
Yeah, come by and talk with me. Yep, we can
absolutely. And then of course, also other sources, like you said, if you're a Facebook user. If you type Roswell Boys and Girls Club, it will pop up, but it's under
it's different.
It's under Lincoln
Boys and Girls Club of Chaves and Lincoln Counties.
Chaves and Lincoln Counties. That's where that's the official title. You can like and follow that. Also, check out the website. Again, you can do a search. It's actually the initials. It's like BGCCL.org or something.
CLC.org.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But just Google Boys and Girls Club,
and it'll pop
Chaves
up
County, Lincoln. It'll pop right up.
Yeah, it'll pop up our Ruidoso site. Which is we're the same.
Yeah, Ruidoso, Chaves, Lincoln County. We're all the same entity of people, just spread out a little bit.
Just spread out through the two counties. It's great. I love having the diversity of us both because we are able to bounce ideas off of each other and do different stuff. It's a completely different culture up there.
Well, it's a different world.
So it is,
and you can interact in a different. And almost like I think you can almost. It's like, hey. The kids down here in Roswell, we could, maybe it's a weekend thing. Let's go to the mountains and do Boys and Girls stuff up there one day, and vice versa. It's like, hey, we could do a field trip. The kids up the mountains, let's come down and do alien stuff in Roswell or whatever.
It's cool stuff,
and it's a different world. It's like you took a field trip to a different place, and it's an hour away.
And it's just up the road. So it is. It's pretty cool to have our sister club with us.
One of our many benefits of living in New Mexico.
Yep.
So absolutely. What's the phone number at the office if people like to call and have questions?
575-550-5001.
Very good. Is there anything we missed? Anything we wanted to share?
I don't think so. I think we got everything.
And again, if people want to participate, the Thanksgiving, they're going to be doing a to-go pickup Thanksgiving event the Tuesday, the 23rd, I believe. It's the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. If you'd like to volunteer to help or donate. Money always helps because that'll buy whatever's missing.
We need stuff turkeys, like to-go plates, turkeys, silverware, stuff like that.
Yeah, things like that. So if you like to donate or or get involved,
volunteer time. Yep.
Reach out.
Let me know.
And if you want to do it as a family, whatever, awesome.
Yes.
Come on down.
Yes.
Well, Natasha,
good deal.
Thanks for coming by. Good to see you again.
Yes, it was good to come.
Now that you guys are kind of full back into things here, maybe we can see more often now.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you, ma'am. Have a wonderful day and weekend.
Yes, you too.
That's what I was like. Is it close to weekend?
It's weekend, We've only got 2 days.
I'm not hopeful
sleeps.
enough, and I'm like, is it tomorrow weekend? No, I got another day. But
2 more sleeps, and it's Saturday.
There it is. So we'll get there. We'll make it.
Yep.
Thanks, Natasha.
Awesome. Yes.
All right, 8:53 news and quick break. Don't go away.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Roswell firefighters responded to the 1700 block of Southeast Main Street for a structure fire Tuesday. The first crew at the scene reported smoke coming from a flooring business there. The flames located in the shop portion of the A&A Flooring at 1713 Southeast Main Street. It took about an hour for the fire crews to get the situation under control. No word yet on what started that fire, but damage is said to be extensive. Street maintenance and improvements are scheduled to take place on South Washington Avenue today between West McGaffey and Alameda. And the work should last through October 1st. A contractor will be removing pavement from the surface and replacing it with fresh pavement and restriping the finished road. That work is planned between McGaffey Street and the Hondo River Bridge, which is south of Summit Street. You're up to date. That's a look at local news headlines this hour. I'm Jared Cirillo.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Not much going on with high pressure parked over eastern New Mexico. Will hit about 90 for the afternoon high today with plenty of sunshine. Could be a little bit breezy in the afternoon. Overnight we'll be in the mid-50s and some clouds moving through. And then tomorrow back up around 90 and mostly sunny. No big changes for the upcoming weekend, upper 80s and low 90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Bill Alexander. The vast majority of United Airlines employees are deciding to get vaccinated against COVID-19 rather than risk losing their job. United said Wednesday that more than 97% of its U.S.-based employees are fully vaccinated, but some employees are objecting. The electric company subsidiary that provides electricity to New Orleans is responding to calls for an investigation of power losses during Hurricane Ida, with options that include having the city assume control of municipal electrical service. That's one of 4 options Entergy New Orleans outlined Tuesday. On Wall Street, the Dow up 338 points, closing at 34,258. The Nasdaq gained 150 to 14,896, and the S&P 500 up 41 points to 4,395. With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Eastern New Mexico University Greyhound football is back on the High Plains. The season rolls on this Saturday as your Greyhounds travel to Wichita Falls to take on the Mustangs of Midwestern State.
Breaks a tackle, makes a move, and stumbles into the end zone.
You don't have to miss a second of the nonstop Greyhounds action. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM is your official home for Greyhound football. It all kicks off Saturday with the pregame at 5 p.m. Greyhounds at Mustangs, Saturday at 5 on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. All in.
Because Charlie Libben made such good cheesecakes, he decided to open up a cheesecake store in Chicago. After much success, Charlie opened up a second store in Chicago. That store didn't do so well, and shortly after, he lost both stores. As Charlie sat down in his home one night eating cheesecake, he thought, "This is good cheesecake." So he opened up another store. After success, he again opened up a second store. Unfortunately, both stores failed miserably. Charlie Lubin did this 2 more times, failing yet again both times. However, that did not stop him. He opened up a bakery the 5th time. This time he named the cheesecakes after his daughter, Sarah Lee, and thus began his journey to owning the largest bakery in the world. Charlie's persistence paid off. You may have failed in life a time or two. Remember, as you sit back with a Sarah Lee dessert, not to give up. Keep persevering. God has great things in store for you.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Sure, you can inspect your own roof, get out that rickety ladder, crawl around up there and try to spot the problem until... Or you could call the experts at Do Right Roofing. Do Right Roofing has quality products for any type of roof. They can even install seamless gutters. Do Right Roofing will inspect your roof and give you a free estimate fast. Keep your feet on the ground. Call Do Right Roofing today.
575-623-2273. Let Do Right do your roof right.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
Well, when they asked me to be the Grand Marshal of this year's fair parade, I was surprised. I thought they had higher standards than that. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. It may seem like the fair is all about scary rides and even scarier food, but it's really a tribute to agriculture in eastern New Mexico. and especially the 4-H and FFA kids who've worked hard all year raising their animals in hopes to get a blue ribbon. So when you visit the fair, take a stroll through the livestock barns and see what they've accomplished. Just watch where you step.
Join Hot New Country 92.9 The Brand and Fiero 106.1 for a live broadcast this Saturday from 10 to 1 at Roswell Honda. The race is on, and Roswell Honda is moving the metal with rebates, savings, and discounts across the lot. We'll have Super Meat Mart hot dogs and ice-cold Pepsi products, and they'll have great giveaways, including AirPods and soda for stopping by, a smartwatch with a qualified test drive, tickets to the Roswell Dragway with purchase, and more. See you Saturday, 10 to 1 at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd. The Coyotes are back on the prowl, and this Friday they're back home at the Wool Bowl taking on the Trojans of Mayfield High. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM and KSVPTV.com are your home for the Coyotes in southeastern New Mexico. Join Art Sandoval and Kelly McDonald for the pregame show at 6:50 and kickoff at 7. Coyotes versus Trojans. Friday night starting at 6:50 on KSVP AM and FM and at KSVPTV.com.
On air and online, this is Roswell's home for talk radio, KEND Roswell.
And good morning. We're closing in on 9 o'clock. Stay tuned next hour. Dr. Jewel with Loveless will be joining us next hour. We'll chit-chat with him. Stay tuned. Town Hall News up next. Don't go away.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. In the midst of multiple crises, including the catastrophe on the southern border, President Biden's poll numbers continue to tank. One poll in particular may be especially troubling for the Biden team. Iowa is a key battleground state, and the latest Des Moines Register Mediacom poll shows that just 31% of Iowa adults approve of Mr. Biden's job performance, 62% disapprove. The latest aspect of the border crisis concerns thousands of Haitians who have been camped out in Del Rio, Texas. Many of them are being allowed into the U.S. while others being sent back home. Amidst the confusion and chaos, the Biden administration special envoy to Haiti has resigned.
U.S. officials say Daniel Foote is protesting inhumane large-scale expulsions of Haitian migrants to their homeland racked by civil strife and natural disaster. Foote was appointed to the position only in July following the assassination of Haiti's president. Even before the migrant expulsions from the small Texas border town of Del Rio, the career diplomat was known to be deeply frustrated with what he considered a lack of urgency in Washington and a very slow pace on efforts to improve conditions in Haiti.
Correspondent Jeremy House. The president meeting with bickering Democrats trying to salvage his economic program.
With key votes coming up on his economic agenda, the president is trying to unite a divided caucus. The president's legislative priorities are at risk because of sharp disagreements among Democratic lawmakers. Liberals say they won't support a $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure deal unless it's coupled with a $3.5 trillion tax and spend package. But moderate Democrats say that price tag is too high. Greg Clugston, Washington.
A Wall Street rally this morning. The Dow up 498 points. NASDAQ ahead 153. The S&P up 57 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Listener that stands out that I worked with was this older couple that was interested in refinancing. They reached out to a few different lenders. Their credit wasn't the best. I know some of these other bigger banks, you just won't hear back from them, which I cannot stand. Not everybody has the 780 credit scores, and just because you don't qualify at one time doesn't mean that you'll never qualify. I'll walk you through what you have to do, whether it's 2, 3, 6 months from now. Back to that older couple, we worked with them for months and months to improve their credit, and we were able to get the loan done. We were saving them hundreds each month, thousands of dollars a year, finally got themselves into a situation financially that they can handle, and they could start saving money each month for retirement. End of the day, they just could not be happier, which just put a huge smile on my face.
We are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLS Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
Taiwan racing to join a Pacific Trade Organization before China does. Otherwise, Taipei fears that Beijing could try to block its membership.
Taiwan has applied to join the trade group, which includes Japan, Canada and Australia, just a week after China made its own application. The island's moving quickly because, as its chief trade negotiator put it, if China joins first, Taiwan's chance of becoming a member would be at risk. That's because Beijing believes Taiwan is part of China and prevents the island joining most international organizations as an independent body. If Taiwan does join the Pacific Trade Grouping, it would benefit its economy and provide it with some international recognition that it desperately seeks.
The BBC's Michael Bristow. At 351,000, the number of Americans applying for unemployment rose by 16,000 last week from the week prior. News and analysis, townhall.com. Just a day after taking the job, Florida's newly appointed Surgeon General announcing new coronavirus guidelines.
Governor Ron DeSantis appointed Dr. Joseph Ladapo. He says the new rules allow parents to decide whether their children should quarantine or stay in school after being exposed to someone who has tested positive.
Quarantining healthy students is incredibly damaging for their educational advancement. It's also incredibly disruptive for families.
The CDC recommends a student should quarantine for 14 days if they are unvaccinated. It can be shortened to 7 days by testing negative. In Florida,
we are going to be following a symptoms-based approach. If somebody is symptomatic, of course, they stay home.
Unchanged are rules allowing schools in Florida to adopt mask mandates as long as students can opt out. I'm Ed Donahue.
And again on Wall Street, the Dow is up 478 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number, and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The demolition, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos.
Thank you, Tanner, of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hey, if you're wondering where Sean's at, he is about to eat pizza in Carlsbad here in about an hour. Yeah, he's in Carlsbad. They're having the grand opening of the 100th Domino's Pizza down there in Carlsbad, and I think the CEO of Domino's is there, and they got all kinds of giveaways and specials. But he's going to be broadcasting live on our sister station, and actually both of our sisters. We have 4 stations. 2 of our sisters. We have a lot of sisters. Our sister stations, 106.1 Firo and 92.9 The Brand. They're going to be out there in Carlsbad. So if you're in that area, swing on by, say hi to Sean and Beatty, and get some pizza and some great deals and all that. But he's in Carlsbad this morning, so he'll be back with me mañana, tomorrow. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. Here in just a few minutes, we'll get you up to date with the weather and all that. Then about 9:15 or so, we're going to be joined in studio by Dr. Jewel. He's with Loveless, and he's a family practice physician. And we'll be chit-chatting about, if you're needing a physician, patient, and obviously what he covers when you come to family medicine. That's kind of the jack of all trades and master of most. They get to see everything. They're the front line. So we're going to chit-chat with Dr. Jewel, talk about all the different services he provides and how Loveless can help you and your family stay healthy. So Dr. Jewel will join us in just a few minutes. Later on, we'll get you up to date with the local news along with the Town Hall Business update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. A couple things I do want to mention outright. If you missed last night, the Roswell Independent School District is having, they have 2 nights of listening or meetings, informational meetings, gathering and giving, but mostly gathering. What they're doing is they've got a meeting. They had one last night at Roswell High School's Little Theater. They got another one tonight. The Roswell Independent School District is seeking input on what to do with the federal COVID relief funds money. And so they had a input meeting for the public last night at the Roswell High School Little Theater. They're going to do it again tonight, one more night. If you missed it last night or would like to catch it night 2. Tonight's meeting will be at the Goddard High School Little Theater, and it'll be 5:30 this evening till 7. And again, the public is welcome and encouraged to attend and offer input and hear what's being said out there on what to do with this federal COVID relief money. So just want to remind you about that. Also, while we're talking schools and everything, too, I know it's a little later in the day, and most of the parents know this, but just in case you haven't heard, at Monterey Military Heights Elementary School, my apologies, due to the COVID-19 deal, all 2nd and 5th graders at Military Heights, they're going to be out of school until October 5th. All of the other Military Heights students are going to be out this Thursday and Friday, so today and tomorrow. I imagine the parents know this at this point, but in case word's getting out late to some of y'all, again, that's only for Military Heights Elementary. Rest of you, business as usual, but just want to pass it along one more time. I know it's that day's already started and you've either learned or not learned, but just spreading the word. So want to do that. All right, it is 10 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Not much going on with high pressure parked over eastern New Mexico. Will hit about 90 for the afternoon high today with plenty of sunshine. Could be a little bit breezy in the afternoon. Overnight we'll be in the mid-50s and some clouds moving through. And then tomorrow back up around 90 and mostly sunny. No big changes for the upcoming weekend, upper 80s and low 90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 64 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 29%. Winds currently out of the south at 8 miles per hour. Partly cloudy today. Highs near 90. They're saying 89 officially, but actually quite pleasant. I'm not complaining. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy. Overnight low of 58. Winds out of the south 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, much like today. Partly cloudy. High of 89. Maybe a little less wind, but it's not too bad. Southeast winds 5 to 10 tomorrow. I mean, it's 5 to 15 today. We're veterans of wind. That's nothing. That's easy for us. Friday night, partly cloudy. Overnight low of 55. South winds 5 to 10. And then for your weekend, mostly sunny, 86 for a high Saturday. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunny on Sunday with a high of 88. And then more of same for the first part of next week. Mid to upper 80s. Tuesday, we do have a 20% chance of rain with a high of 85. We'll see how that shapes up. But looks like we're going to be sitting in the upper 80s for the next maybe a week or so here. We'll see. All right, it is 12 minutes after 9 o'clock, and it is green chili season. You know, because you smell it. It's everywhere. You go to the grocery stores, you go places, you just smell green chili roasting in the air. It's a beautiful time of year. Well, where do you go to get the best green chili? Well, it's easy. Gray's Farm and Garden. That's right. They got you covered. The Gray's Farm and Garden store is now open 7 days a week. They're open Monday through Saturday from 8:30 to 5:30 and Sundays from 1 to 5 too. And they're located out of Gray's Farm, which is about 6.5 miles southeast of Roswell off the old Dexter Highway there. But they've got it's a great farm. You go out there, and of course, Halloween's around the corner, and pumpkin season, all that. They're going to be firing up for that already, or pretty quick here. But right now, it's the season of the green chili, and they've got you covered. You can buy green chilies from them. You can get your bags at the store there. They'll roast on site, but you can get like a bushel or a half bushel, no problem. And here's the part that I love. If you call Gray's Farm 575-622-1889, again, that's 575-622-1889, they will ship green chili to anywhere in the United States. Let me say that again. Graves Farm will ship green chili to anywhere in the United States. So if you've got family and friends, like I'm not from here originally. I got family that's spread out over East Coast and a couple other places. But when they come visit, they get hooked on green chili. It's like, hey, rather than you happen to be the green chili Santa and delivering, just call Graves Farm and say, hey, send a half a bushel of green chili to this guy. Send another half, whatever it is, they got you covered. So, and of course, visit the store. All kinds of great locally grown produce, and every time it's a new experience. So you go in there and they got a bunch of eggs or potatoes and a squash and, of course, green chili and homemade salsas and stuff. It's great. So swing on by Graves Farm and Garden. The store is now open 7 days a week, and call them to get those green chilies shipped anywhere in the U.S. 575-622-1889. All right, it is 9:14. Let's go ahead and take a 3.5-minute commercial break. And then Dr. Jewel with Loveless will join us on the other side. Do not go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
As the school year comes to an end and COVID restrictions start to ease, don't lose sight of the lessons learned. Cover your cough, positive personal hygiene, respect one another, show and tell others you love them. Fiscal and social responsibility are great ways to show your love. This is Damon Graham, your local New York Life agent. I can help you show your love to others. Call me at 575-623-0803 so we can determine how you best can show your love. Expect to be blessed.
Mow, dig, haul, lift. The versatile Kubota BX Series subcompact tractor does it all. Switching attachments is simple, and a smooth hydrostatic transmission makes for easy operation. The Kubota BX Series, the #1 selling subcompact tractor in the U.S. for over 10 years. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Amigo Machinery, 2801 Southeast Main Street, Roswell.
Bob Reed Pest Control protects you and your home by controlling pests that invade. Bob Reed Pest Control understands the importance of safety in and around your home from unwanted pests, and they offer answers and solutions when you need them most. Protect your home, your children, and your pets from the dangers of poisonous bugs and insects. Let Bob Reed Pest Control and their fully licensed professionals start working for you and your family today. Call 623-5344, serving all of southeastern New Mexico. Find them fast in names and numbers.
Because Charlie Libben made such good cheesecakes, he decided to open up a cheesecake store in Chicago. After much success, Charlie opened up a second store in Chicago. That store didn't do so well, and shortly after, he lost both stores. As Charlie sat down in his home one night eating cheesecake, he thought, "This is good cheesecake." So he opened up another store. After success, he again opened up a second store. Unfortunately, both stores failed miserably. Charlie Lubin did this 2 more times, failing yet again both times. However, that did not stop him. He opened up a bakery the 5th time. This time he named the cheesecakes after his daughter, Sarah Lee, and thus began his journey to owning the largest bakery in the world. Charlie's persistence paid off. You may have failed in life a time or two. Remember, as you sit back with a Sarah Lee dessert, not to give up. Keep persevering. God has great things in store for you.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Teachers are the heartbeat of the classroom and often use their own funds to bring supplies and resources to their students. Kinetic by Windstream is kicking off the 2021 school year by showing appreciation to teachers across the country with a chance to win a $1,000 classroom supply grant. Nominate your favorite teacher for a chance to win by visiting GoKinetic.com and going to the Community tab, or stop by a Kinetic retail store near you now through September 30th to place your nomination.
Join Hot New Country 92.9 The Brand and Fiero 106.1 for a live broadcast this Saturday from 10 to 1 at Roswell Honda. The race is on, and Roswell Honda is moving the metal with rebates, savings, and discounts across the lot. We'll have Super Meat Mart hot dogs and ice-cold Pepsi products, and they'll have great giveaways, including AirPods and soda for stopping by, a smartwatch with a qualified test drive, tickets to the Roswell Dragway with purchase, and more. See you Saturday, 10 to 1 at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. More than 50% of Americans fall asleep on their sides. That's way better than falling asleep on someone else's side. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 18 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio from Loveless, I always say regional hospital, but just Loveless Medical Group, I guess you could technically call it, because you're actually up the street here. You're not in the hospital itself, right? If
That's correct.
Very good. But
Yes,
joining
sir.
us, and I'm just conversing without introducing everybody. Joining us in studio is Dr. Peter Jewell. He's a family practice physician with Loveless. Good morning, sir. How are you doing today?
Good morning to you. Excellent, actually.
Awesome. Well,
Doing good.
Well, first, thank you for spending time with us. I know, much like yourself and all the other medical providers, your time is you're usually getting pushed from one place to another pretty much 24/7 until it's time to punch the clock and go home. So I do appreciate you spending some time with us today.
You are absolutely correct. A couple things I'd say about that. I've been here in Roswell for about 13 years now. Did residency here, and I have a commitment. I told all of my patients from the get-go that I would be here until I retired, and that's kind of my goal.
Okay. So where are you from originally, if you don't mind me asking?
Everybody asks me that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a long story. Born in Wilmington, North Carolina, so
Okay.
on the coast. Grew up in what I call the Chicagoland metropolitan area.
Okay.
But, that's a caveat to that, I would say that where I lived was about the same distance that we are here from Albuquerque, from Chicago.
Got you. So it wasn't the suburbs. You were a little more in the state.
Yeah, small town. In fact, the town that I grew up in, 7,000 people where I grew up there, that's what drew me to
Gotcha.
small town medicine.
Sure.
That's what I had always envisioned myself when I became a physician, that's what I would do.
Gotcha. So you've you got a little bit of experience in all, various parts of the country here.
Oh,
and
well,
things
that's
like that. Or
not done.
yeah. But wait, there's more.
Yeah. In 1991, I moved to Colorado. I was there for 20 years, and then I've been here in Roswell for 13. I did residency here through the residency program that was at Eastern for a while.
Okay.
It was a 1+2 program. First year was at UNM in Albuquerque. Next 2 years were here.
Gotcha. So not only, you've experienced, but you've got, some of your actual training was done right here in New Mexico too.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Good
Yes,
deal.
sir. Yep.
So like you said, you've been here about 13 years in Roswell, I guess you could say.
Yes, sir.
Now, as far as the Southwest goes, are you've embraced it now, or do you? 'Cause
Absolutely.
I grew up in D.C., Maryland area, so I know what you're. It's a bit of a culture shock the first time you come to this area, and you're not accustomed to that. It takes time. Just as the environment, it's not supposed to be hot all the time. It's not, you know what I mean? It's just it's a different environment than other parts of the country. It just is.
It's not hot all the time. Remember Goliath? Come on.
This is true. We did have a few of those, but it's just I just remember, like, for me, I came from via military. So I was stationed at Holloman and Alamogordo there, but I remember. And they flew into El Paso. That's where they flew me into. And I was what, 20s, early 20s. I was a kid. And I'll never forget when I flew and I was looking as we're flying into El Paso, and I look out that window and all I see is brown. And I'm like, what am I getting into? And well, here, 30 years later, here I am married and happy and loved in this place. But first time not knowing, it can be a bit of a shock to you.
Well, what I'll say is I'm kind of an outdoorsy person, and this is a good place for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can go an hour and it's a different. We were just talking about that last hour with Natasha. You go an hour away and you're in the mountains and it's a way different universe than here. So
absolutely,
the beauty of New Mexico.
Yeah. So I have no want or need to move to a big city.
Gotcha.
Going through med school, et cetera, I lived in a lot of the big cities, and I don't want to go back there.
Well, and let me ask you this, because especially as a family practice physician here, which in essence is kind of that front door of medicine, where generally when people have an issue, most people, they'll go see their family doctor first, and then if they need to go to a specialist from there, that's where you take over and decide that. But you kind of have to be a jack of all trades when it comes to that. You got to be an expert or very knowledgeable in all facets of medicine. You don't get to hone in on one specialty here. But when you also are more a rural doctor, you kind of have that same. Absolutely. Even if you're a specialized person, your specialty is like, okay, you're a heart. oh, you don't do just valve. You got to do everything with the heart. You know what I mean?
Sir.
Whereas in Chicago or New York, they have a guy that all they're doing is bypasses all day or something. You know what I mean? So in essence, I imagine as a doctor, it's probably a little more fun this way because you get to see more, do more versus the guy that's just coming in and doing brake jobs all day and then going home. You know what I mean?
I think honestly, when I first went to med school, I was thinking I'd become a surgeon because surgery is actually, I guess, that's the glamour when it comes to medicine. But when I did my first rotation in med school for surgery, standing in the same place for 4 hours, I couldn't walk at the end of the day. My back was just done.
Gotcha.
And then the first time that I really felt like a doctor in med school was when I did family practice.
Gotcha.
And it was kind of a nice variety because one patient I'm seeing, because I do OB-GYN things as well too.
Gotcha.
One patient I'm doing a pap smear, and the next patient I'm talking about diabetes. The next patient I'm talking about hypertension. Next thing I'm doing is a procedure. And with that, it kind of keeps it refreshing. Keeps it fun, basically.
Absolutely. So, now, obviously, with your practice here, you're seeing all your patients, your family, and you, like I said, you run the gamut. Kids, women, you do, as the family practice medicine, you're the doctor that, so if your kid needs a physical for sports or needs or has an earache or you yourself not feeling well and need to get help, that's your specialty. You're the one who's got to see it all and then make the determination whether you need a specialist or you can take care of it here or whatever needs to happen next.
Yes, sir. I pretty much do everything. Couple of exceptions. I see 1 year old and up.
Okay.
So once you turn one, from then on, I'll see you.
You got them. If it's an infant, go to your pediatrician. But once they turn one, come see Dr. Jewell. We can bring them into the family fold.
Absolutely. And the big reason behind that is because I've kind of lost a skill set with circumcisions.
Okay.
It's been 13 years since I've done one, and I don't really think that would be wise for me to re-up and do that again.
I don't know.
So,
I don't know how the procedure works, but I feel like if I'm getting a circumcision, I want a young man's game with good vision.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. No, I feel the exact same way. And it's just one of those skill sets that if you haven't done it for a while, it's not really that difficult of a procedure.
Mm-hmm.
But since I haven't done it since I was a resident, I just don't think I should do that again.
Sure. And this is where I'm naive. Is that a procedure that happens at the delivery sometimes, or is that always later?
It can be.
Okay.
It depends on the family's choice. Sometimes they're not sure that they want to do it or not.
Gotcha. And then you can, if you need to buy time to think about it, then you'll see the family medicine or the expert on that too.
Absolutely.
But
yes, sir.
if you know, maybe just a tip, just pardon the pun.
That's a good one. I like that.
Pardon the pun. Just a tip. Maybe have that conversation before the birth and maybe come with a decision one way or another.
I agree.
You do have 9 months to figure it out. Or not 9 months, but depending on when you just find the sex out.
Yeah, exactly.
7 to 6 months. I don't know how soon they find out, but 6-7 months, you'll know. But anyway, I do want to talk COVID a little bit because obviously that's the topic here. I've been saying on this show, and I preach this mantra every time. I know we live in a confusing world right now. 1 minute you got people telling you to do this, the next minute don't do this, do that, don't do this. You've got politicians telling you what to do. You've got Facebook people just telling you what to do. I've always told people, if you have questions about one way or the other about the vaccine, whether you should get it, should not get it, why is everybody concerned about it, the one place I think every person should go first before you get on internet or listen to politician X or any of this mess is your doctor. The same person you take your kids to, you take yourself to, anytime you have any other medical question or issue, you call the doctor. That's the person who's trained, who's the expert on these types of things. So,
you're preaching to the choir.
As a family care practicer here, you're the expert as far as I'm concerned. You're the person that if people want to know if they should get this shot or not, they're the type of person they need to talk to here. So let me ask you, what are you telling your patients about the COVID vaccine right now? When they're asking you about it, what information are you giving them?
So let's start at the beginning because you mentioned a couple things, and I kind of want to touch on a couple points there.
Absolutely.
unfortunately, this did become a political issue.
Yeah.
And if we could reverse time, if there was such a thing as a time machine,
yeah,
I wish we could go back to that time and approach COVID when it first started a little bit differently. The people need information, and what it should have started with is say, look, science changes. This is a virus that never infected human beings before. Never. This
Gotcha.
was in bats, okay?
And that's why it's alarming is it jumped.
Yes, and viruses, to kind of explain briefly how a virus works, it comes into your body in a sphere. That sphere opens up. Its DNA tricks your own DNA into making more copies of itself.
Okay.
And the reason why when the vaccine was first produced, it was so effective because back at that time, 95% effective at controlling the first strain of COVID that was in the United States. We're not with the first strain anymore. Now we've got the Delta variant. There's a Mu variant. There's a Lambda variant. There's this variant.
I feel like there's like 3 or 4 on the horizon coming too. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And the reason why that is because, as I was saying before, the virus tricks your DNA into making copies of itself, right? Our DNA is not perfect. That's why some people have brown eyes, some people have blue eyes, some people have blonde hair, some people have brown hair, right?
Why someone likes coffee and why someone doesn't. Yeah.
Exactly. So when you figure that there's been how many millions of people that have had this virus, the virus that I have, and then give to you, and then give to the next person, to the next person, to the next person, it changes in each person, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
So that is why it's hard to nail down a vaccine that's going to be 100% effective 100% of the time.
Because you're trying to make a cookie cutter thing for something that's anything but cookie cutter.
Absolutely.
Got you. Okay.
Absolutely. So right now, the statistics change every time I read about it. The most recent one that I read about, or the most recent statistic that I read about just last night, 80% effective towards the Delta variant.
Okay.
The problem is, people focus on, yes, there are people that have had the vaccine that are being hospitalized. That's the truth. Okay. That's the truth. Number one, most of those people, not all, but most of the people are 65 and above.
Gotcha.
Okay. So they're the highest risk factor to begin with. Then you got to throw in your diabetics, which I am. You have to throw in people that are on chemo, people that have HIV, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Anything that basically weakens the immune system.
Absolutely. Bingo.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir. So that's why these people are getting this after they've been vaccinated. And nobody talks about this in the media. The media's done a very poor job explaining what's really going on.
Gotcha.
And also talking about that time machine, back to the beginning when I was talking about this, science changes. Again, since it was never in a human being before, things change. New research comes in. Oh, wow, we didn't think about that, right? We know that about almost every disease state. What we know about polio today is a lot different than what we knew about it back in the 40s.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Same thing with HIV. These viruses change with time, and unfortunately, we can't keep up as of yet.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the whole. Let's go back to politics. I'm pretty conservative when it comes to politics.
Sure.
However, I don't toe the party line when it comes to the vaccine.
Gotcha. You're following the science.
Yes, absolutely. But unfortunately, the science changes.
Absolutely. Well,
so that's kind of what I'm trying to say.
I kind of, and I've mentioned this before, and if you sit back just for a minute and think about the last 2 years, just sit and think about what we did. And basically, like you said, we came across a virus that was not a part of humans until 2 years ago, whenever this thing went down.
Yes, sir.
And now today, less than 2 years later, we have a vaccine for it.
Yes.
And I don't know enough to know on how medicines are made. I know it's a process. I know it's long, but for us to basically have something that we didn't know was possible, to having now something that can to mitigate it, in 2 years, that's a Herculean effort.
I've got some explanations to that, and people probably...
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. I'm like, that's a tip of the cap to human technology, as far as I'm concerned.
So a couple of things that, again, I was talking about how the media doesn't really, express the right way of how we came up with the vaccine, et cetera. Honestly, messenger RNA vaccines have been in the works for 20 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, when you look at pharmaceutical companies, they make very, very little money on antibiotics, antivirals.
Well, they get the money on the glamorous drugs that you see all the commercials on TV
the
for.
Viagra. Yeah, exactly. Take the purple pill. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So they don't make much money on antibiotics. They don't make much money on antivirals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and I'm just throwing ballpark figures out there, but let's say in 2000, they spent $1 million. They gave drug company X $1 million for research, right?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't go anywhere. Okay. COVID became a pandemic. Instead of giving $1 million, then they're giving $1 billion with a B ending in an S
Mm-hmm.
of money towards drug company X, Y, and Z. And then plus President Trump, he kind of wanted people to share proprietary information.
So kind of lifted some of the protections in place.
Yes, some of the patents went by the wayside.
Gotcha.
And basically what they had to tell each other is, well, this didn't work, so don't do that, right? So, $1 billion is going to get you more researchers. Mm-hmm. It's going to get you more growth media.
Opens doors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. More people. You're going to be working around the clock with that, right? I would be. Somebody give me $1 billion. I could do a lot of things with that.
Sure, absolutely.
So that's one of the things that actually helped push that forward.
Sure.
Why we got it in a period of months instead of years.
Think of the United States World War II effort. Once we entered the war, car plants switch over to tank plants and things. That basically the resource had shifted to priority one, getting us ready for that. And in essence, in the medical world, priority shifted. Priority one, find a vaccine for COVID.
You're absolutely correct.
Gotcha. Very good.
And then also, I think that we're facing just a lack of information when it comes to COVID and poor information.
Mm-hmm.
I deleted my Facebook account. I used to have a Facebook account because I like to get in touch with some of the people I went to high school with.
That was probably better for your mental health.
Yeah, because every time I read anything there, it was wrong.
Well, that's what makes me mad. It's not that it's out there; it's that people believe it. I'm like, because I don't know. I just remember and I don't know if this is information and technology and the way we get it now. It's just when we were younger, if it looked ridiculous, sounded ridiculous, we just chalked it up as ridiculous and moved on. Now, people give more credibility to some of this stuff, and it just infuriates me. I'm like, come on, be common sense. I know, and then people say it's not common anymore and all that, but common sense with some education, and you're going to be just fine. And that's do that.
No, I agree. I
didn't want to get on a soapbox, but this is something that
it's important.
I feel like the answer is easy, but we get so muddy in all the details that we forget the end game sometimes and what we're trying to do here. And I get it. We all get polarized on this and politics and everything else. And when it comes to your health, at the end of the day, the people you should be listening to are the same people you've been listening to about your health before politics got into the question here. That's just my opinion on this. But that y'all do you, but that's my opinion on this.
Interesting statistic. 90 to 95% of all medical doctors, MDs, have been vaccinated.
So it tells you, as a whole, the consensus are that they support it. Now, not like you said, it's evolving, and this is where I think this is where people get mad, and you need to understand. And I think this is where you need to come from a place of understanding, where education will help you. Yeah, because the world is so muddy with information that some of it's good, some bad. The way we get it, but like you said at the beginning here, this is something that's brand new that we're coming. So anytime, look at any other achievement we've done in history. Do you think we just showed up on the moon one day? No, we didn't. There was a whole thing of, and you look at the vaccines we take today, your polio, your smallpox, all these others, the mumps, measles, all these things. These are all things that we don't even talk about anymore, and they're just almost an ancillary. Oh yeah, remember that was bad, and then we don't.
Yep.
But it wasn't overnight before they said, guess what? We cured polio, or we got a vaccine now. It takes time and testing, and unfortunately, when it comes to a pandemic where people are dying, you're going to peel back behind the curtain and see how the sausage is made a little bit, because that's the only way we can quickly get to this stuff. But as they're learning and evolving, it's like, oh yeah, we think we nailed it. But now this new variant or new wrinkle comes in, and that kind of changes the way it does things. None of that's political. That's just science doing science. And we need to understand the difference between politicians telling us stuff and just where the science is taking people. And I think, am I on base? What you're talking about?
You're absolutely 100% correct. And in a couple of the other things that I would say, trust me when I say this, I didn't come of this opinion overnight.
Yeah.
When COVID was really going strong, we're going to take you back to probably last December, January. I myself, as a primary care provider, family practice, have to sign things like death certificates. That's part of my job, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Normally, I sign one once every 6 months, maybe sometimes once a year. During COVID, during the first 2 weeks of January, every single day there was at least one, and there was one day that I had to sign to 3.
That's unfortunate.
So, back when this first began, 2 to 3 hours every single night before I went to bed. I read every night before I fall asleep. Every single night I was reading information on the vaccine, the virus, everything. I didn't just decide, hey, I'm going to put this in my body haphazardly.
Sure.
I don't know a single doctor that did. We all read about it because we practice evidence-based medicine.
Well, and I think you got into medicine for a reason.
Yes.
And this is exactly part of that, and why are we not listening to the people that this is what they do?
Right.
This is, to me, that's, and I know I'm getting soapboxy. I don't understand why people are making a big convoluted thing. It's like, what does your doctor tell you? Do what he or she says. That's what you should do. When you get something on your arm and you're like, what's this thing? And the doctor says, do this. You do that. Why would you not do that for this? So, and if you disagree, then get a second opinion. Talk to another doctor. See what they say. That's in America, that's how it works,
Absolutely.
and that's how it should work. And the onus is on you and your family to make sure you take care of these things. We as a society, we want to help you and all that, but you got to reach out. You've got to do this stuff, and if you don't, you're really handcuffing yourself and your family here. So if you have questions about COVID, and
ask your doctor.
Ask, if you don't have a doctor, I'll tell you right now. I'll get you all the information here. You can schedule an appointment with Dr. Jewell here and sit down and get that done here. But let's do this now. Obviously, if you're dealing with any other problems besides COVID, if you need physicals for the family or women's health or counseling, health, nutrition, diet, when you get, generally speaking, if you get diabetes diagnosis, odds are pretty good. It's usually your primary care doctor that gives you the first indicator on that. And in essence is your first exposure to information and resources on how to mitigate it. Then you probably will talk to an expert in the field to give you more information things. But when it comes to the day-to-day stuff, Dr. Jewell's your guy to help you navigate through that type of stuff.
Absolutely. We help diagnose diabetes. Sometimes, actually quite a few times, I treat it as well too, because I also have type 1 diabetes. I've been a diabetic for 42 years now.
Okay. So you
walk the walk.
You
talk the
personally
talk.
have experience on how to deal with this.
Yes.
Disease. Now, generally, you probably deal with more type 2 than type 1.
Yeah. It's because, not to use pandemic and epidemic, but diabetes is an epidemic. And they estimate 15 to 20% of the New Mexican population has diabetes, and about 10 to 12% of that, actually it's higher than that. I think it's 60 to 70% of that don't know that they have it.
Interesting. I have a theory.
Go ahead.
I know it's another left field thing, but I'm curious. Like, you're a medical expert. I'm wondering if my theory has any kind of weight to it. I wonder if food technology has altered some of the numbers in diabetics. And what I mean by that is food's way more convenient now in how you cook it and eat it and get access to it. Where back in the day, you had to use fresh produce and fresh ingredients because that's all there was. There wasn't boxes of things and stuff. I think the 50s you really started to start seeing the packaged food things and all this. I think there's something going on there. I think the way that they're making these foods and the way they're doing this for preservation and packaging purposes are, in essence, putting us down a path for seeing more diabetes and these types of things. I know it's about decisions, and people are like, no, you go and eat a McDonald's hamburger every day. Guess what? That's going to be bad. But a lot of times you buy things thinking, oh, I got a box of potatoes or whatever it is, and then it's really loaded with preservatives, things that in essence could be. Am I warm or am I way off base on this?
No, I think you are warm, at least partially, because there's a lot of factors that go into diabetes in the epidemic these days. Yes, I do believe that it's part of the way that we process foods these days. I think it's the amount of sugar that we have in food today. Sugars in everything, including ketchup. We use high fructose corn syrup now instead of sugar. High fructose corn syrup, in some cases, not in every case, but in some cases, it's almost like sugar on steroids.
Gotcha.
So
it's like super.
Yeah. A lot of studies show that it's addictive too.
Yeah.
So
I can see that.
And what do we do as soon as we get home every day? We flip on the TV and change the channel.
Sure.
We're not as
a sediment.
active.
We sit on our butts a lot.
We're not as active as we used to be. I mean, taking or thinking back to my childhood, I mean, 90% of the people that I knew in the town that I grew up, either worked in farming or construction. I mean, and let's face it, farms are becoming conglomerates.
Yeah.
So you've got this big corporation, less people working there.
I don't know a lot of farmers that go to the gym to work out because they don't need to.
They don't have, exactly.
They get their workout at work.
Yeah. And then there's less and less people that are working the construction fields too. Sure. So you're not as physically active as we used to be as a society. So I think that's
comes
also
into play.
part of the there's a lot of reasons why.
So again, technology just not necessarily food, just ease of doing things and things. So yeah, we almost have to. And I also would think too, medicines come to big play. We probably had people that had diabetes and just couldn't diagnose it back then because we didn't know any better.
Yes,
that comes into play too. It's not I say it like the technology caused diabetes. No, we got better at finding it too. But I would say it certainly has helped or helped in getting people less educated about their foods. I think we traded convenience for education on some of that, and now we just got to find the happy medium and learn to balance it and learn. And as a with diabetes, it's dealing with diabetes. I don't care if it's type 1 or type 2. It's all about the routine and establishing the habits and patterns. And if you can get that in the right way, then diabetes is very, very manageable.
Absolutely.
It's when you've got to break the cycles, break the habits of eating ice cream at 2 a.m. or instead of eating a sandwich, you eat 4 sandwiches. You know what I mean? That's the kind of stuff you've got to change in your habits to help. And that's where your time with Dr. Jewell here, you're a partner in that. And it's like saying, because especially if you're going the medicine route to treat some of these, if you get to that point, it's a constant changing battle. Your body changes and its reaction to the medicines. It may be working perfect for you now, but 5 years from now, your body's chemistry changes and it's not going to work as well. So we got to come up with a different plan. And if you're not on top of that and you're just like, oh, I got my pills, I'm good to go, I'll see you in 20 years. You're not doing yourself the service. So it's so important, especially if you're dealing with conditions that require like diabetes or any of asthma, anything that's like a chronological thing that you have to kind of stay on top of. Please do not ignore those things. If you don't want to go to Dr. Jewell, go to some doctor, but please go to a doctor and have a primary care physician or have that family doctor set up in your family that you can go and make sure these things, because taking care of these now and doing the simple things, it's going to save you so much headache and quality of life. I mean, you're going to have a better quality of life later down the road. And you got to find that balance because, I get it. You don't want to eat rabbit food your whole life and say, well, great, I lived to 100, but I eat rabbit food my whole life. I get that. But you got to find the balance, moderation. Eat your steak every once in a while, but don't eat it every meal for every day. Let's find alternatives. But that's the kind of stuff that's it's very important to have a relationship with a primary care physician. And Dr. Jewell, like I said, you've been here, you've got the experience, and if you really, especially like if you're on the fence about this COVID, please bring those. If you're seeing ridiculousness on Facebook and you're really considering that, talk to Dr. Jewell or talk to an expert first before you preach that as gospel. That's doing more damage right now than I think anything else is people thinking legitimately that information out there that just sounds ridiculous is true. And that's what scares me most about all this COVID more than anything else. I mean, I've been vaccinated and I got COVID, but it was a bad cold for me. And I'm pretty sure if I did not get vaccinated, I would have been in much worse shape. I'm diabetic too. I'm a type 2 guy and I deal with that. So I'm one of those lowered immune risks type as well. So I know. So I went and got the shots as soon as I was able to and do all that. But make that decision for you and your family based off good information, not off what you heard on Facebook or what the guy on Fox News or CNN said to do. So
you made a real important point when you were talking about how you had gotten COVID.
Mm-hmm.
You'd been vaccinated, so it was like a minor cold.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about 90% of what we're seeing with patients that have been vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
If they get sick,
Mm-hmm.
it's very mild symptoms.
Yeah.
If they don't get their vaccine, I have a couple of family members, two people actually that were in the ICU, both people on ventilators. And one of the people, close family member of mine, his girlfriend passed away.
Oh man.
Also had COVID on a ventilator just like that. So, it's affected my family as well too.
So you're seeing firsthand the results too, not just patients, but
exactly.
personally. So
exactly. Yes, sir.
So please ask the questions. Don't, whatever decisions you make, I respect because it's your life and your decision. But please make it based on good information. Don't make it off of rumors or hearsay or people that aren't qualified to make those statements to you. Make those statements. Go talk to people like Dr. Jewell that went to school a long time and constantly study this stuff and do it day in and day out. This is what they do for a living. And I don't know. My brain, I'm like, why would you trust somebody else? I
like that. Yep.
I mean, like, let me when you go to get your oil changed and you go down to the Jiffy Lube or whatever, get your oil changed, and that guy starts telling you about getting colonoscopies, are you going to believe him? Or, is that a good idea? No different than if you go to Dr. Jewell here and he starts telling you how to time your transmission. I'm like, Dr. Jewell, I respect you, but I don't think you know what you're talking about here.
That's for sure. I don't know how to set a timing chain. That's
my point here. You know what I'm saying? So please schedule an appointment, give him a call. Of course, your office is just right up the street, right across. These are bad landmarks, but that's the landmarks. Right across from Wendy's and Cattle Bear and all those fast food places.
Yes, sir.
When you're in between meals, come by his office right up here, right by the new car wash there.
You can get lunch and then get treated for diabetes.
Exactly. There you go, coming and going. But make an appointment. You can call his office direct at 575-627-4200. And if you click option 2, that'll take you right to Dr. Jewell's, your receptionist
office.
There,
yes,
your
sir.
office there.
Makes it much easier with that option.
And schedule appointment things. And also, too, if you don't remember any of this, if you go to Loveless's, just type in Loveless online and go to their website, find a doctor, Dr. Jewell, you'll pop up, you'll see his information right there. So if you're driving around or whatever, you can't write this down, you'll find it there at the Loveless's website. Or just come on by the office and say, hey, I'd like your appointment when you got available, and they'll do it face-to-face, no problem.
I just started seeing patients today.
Good.
Or I will be as soon as we're done here. Had to get computer training. It's a whole new system. And
you got to learn it's kind of like, DJs. I know do it radio, but then I come in here and it's like, what's this button do now? I got a new buttons to push. So.
Exactly. Yep. Technology is always evolving.
Absolutely. Doctor, is there anything you wanted to share that we just skipped on or we just got sidetracked on?
I could go a little bit over more of some of the other things I do, procedures. I do minor, like mole removals.
Okay.
And if you think you have a skin cancer, I can do something like a punch biopsy or at least evaluate it. I do, minor injections when it comes to things like, steroids.
Okay.
I do shoulder injections, knee injections, that kind of thing.
Excellent. And of course, if you're not feeling well, regardless, come see you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he'll help you. He'll take care of you. He'll get you where either if he can't do it directly, then he sends you to one of the specialists that Loveless has that can take care of those problems. But that's the family practice medicine. That's
yes, sir.
That's you know what? Think of the old school doc that come to the house with the bag. That's Dr. Jewell, except for he doesn't have to do house calls anymore.
Yeah, exactly. That's a whole malpractice thing. So
Although, I mean, sometimes I kind of wish back in the days where the doc shows up with the bag is like, put some mud on that thing and you'd be fine. You know, I mean, there's a lot of good medicine coming.
I really wouldn't mind going house.
There's a lot of good medicine coming out of that. Just saying. So,
yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for spending time with us today. And I know you're. I'm sure they're screaming to get you back to work here. So we do appreciate you spending a few minutes with us here.
Absolutely.
And anytime that you're able to come, love to have you chit chat. Maybe we can. Maybe after we get out of COVID, we can get you back and talk about some more.
I pray to God.
Healthcare
we need to get out of COVID.
I'm ready.
Whatever it takes.
I think you and many are ready. So, but thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right. It is 9:53. Let's pause for local news, Sean Hannity update, and your business update. Don't go away.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Roswell firefighters responded to the 1700 block of Southeast Main Street for a structure fire Tuesday. The first crew at the scene reported smoke coming from a flooring business there. The flames located in the shop portion of the A&A Flooring at 1713 Southeast Main Street. It took about an hour for the fire crews to get the situation under control. No word yet on what started that fire, but damage is said to be extensive. Street maintenance and improvements are scheduled to take place on South Washington Avenue today between West McGaffey and Alameda. And the work should last through October 1st. A contractor will be removing pavement from the surface and replacing it with fresh pavement and restriping the finished road. That work is planned between McGaffey Street and the Hondo River Bridge, which is south of Summit Street. You're up to date. That's a look at local news headlines this hour. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Your morning espresso starts right here. It's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
There is a significant majority of registered Democratic voters. They now prefer socialism to capitalism. Fox News poll, socialism 59% favorable, capitalism 49%. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Any name, any form, any manifestation of socialism, redistributionism, it all ends the same way. Broken promises, unfulfilled promises. It ends with more poverty, not less, and giving up how much freedom you calculate at the end of the mess you created. If you think it's going to work and it appeals to you, tell me what part of government is so effective now beyond the military.
The Sean Hannity Show from coast to coast later today.
All right, the school year is getting started for millions across the nation. Chances are your child's learning environment is not going to be a perfect one. Now, Acellus Power Homeschool, they have become the answer for both schools and for parents that have decided to bring their child's classroom either partially home or for full-time homeschooling. Now, parents worry that their kids are getting behind in math because schools had to close last year, and other parents worry if their kids are on track to read at their grade level. And now we're worried again that our kids might face disruptions this school year. Now, at powerhomeschool.org, it's one word, you're going to see how parents can control their children's education by offering online courses at home taught by some of America's greatest teachers. Now, it's especially effective if your student is struggling or students with learning disabilities. If you are considering homeschooling or looking to fill any gaps at home, please visit powerhomeschool.org. That's powerhomeschool.org today.
With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Rich Thomason. For the second week in a row, applications for unemployment benefits are up, rising 16,000 last week to 351,000. That's more than economists were expecting. Chicago-based aerospace giant Boeing is looking to open a plant overseas, an Australian factory that will turn out a new kind of military drone.
Boeing says it has selected Queensland State as the final assembly point for its unmanned Loyal Wingman planes. The first test flights were completed earlier this year. It's the first military combat aircraft to be designed and manufactured in Australia in half a century.
That's correspondent Jeremy House. Wall Street rocketed higher this morning. All three of the benchmarks up more than 1% at mid-morning, following the Federal Reserve's latest policy-setting meeting. That meeting wrapped up yesterday. With business, I'm Rich Thomason.
Score a jackpot of a great deal during the Instant Savings Vehicle event at Roswell Nissan. All in-stock vehicles have been marked down during this massive event, so odds are you'll save big. Get a 2011 Nissan Rogue, a 2013 Hyundai Velociter, a 2015 Nissan Altima, and more for only $149 a month, or a brand new 2021 Nissan Titan 4x4 Crew Cab for under $40,000. Get a free 12-pack and spin the wheel just for stopping by, and while you're there, enter to win a multi-game table. Play to win this month at Roswell Nissan. 2111 West 2nd.
Did you know that most burglaries occur during the day? Why, you ask? Most of us are at work, leaving the burglar to go unnoticed. Did you know the average loss from a home burglary is over $2,200? Not including one's loss of emotional security in their own home. Avoid being a burglar's target market and get a monitored security system from Zenith Security Services, all for around $1 a day. Wouldn't you agree that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure? Call Zenith Security Services today, 626-3521.
At Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium, we honor and pay tribute to the achievements of your loved one by celebrating the life you shared together. Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium is compassionate and cares about our local community and the families we serve here in southeastern New Mexico. Locally owned and operated, we will be here to help you decide how to celebrate the bond you've shared and pay tribute to the unique individual you've lost. Visit us at 2609 South Main in Roswell or call 622-5888.
Hey CVE members, have you scheduled your no-cost home energy audit? If not, we're getting close to fall and cooler weather. It's time to sign up. Call 575-746-3571 to get your name on the list for a free home energy audit. Weather stripping, new door sweeps, minor repairs, and much more. Start saving money and keep that purchased air in your home. Central Valley Electric is happy to partner with Green Metal Energy for this valuable audit. Again, 575-746-3571 to sign up. Call now.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The ball on top of a flagpole is called a truck. Mess with your friends today by pointing at a flagpole and say, "Hey, check out the truck on top of that flagpole." Here's Mike Winters.
And that's going to do it for us. Thanks for allowing us to be a part of your day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.